just came up how to adjust your USB-C settings. I was thinking, like, man, I'm just gonna talk to Epos Vox and just like, hey, just curious, how do I do this?
Yeah, no, he did a really good video of that. I think it was yesterday. That one went
yeah, the Fuji whatever camera.
The XT3.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, that one.
All right. And we are live. Welcome to Talking Heads, episode 134, your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night. If you've never seen the show before, this is usually 20 minutes of beer talk, beer, alcohol, cocktail, just anything that's in the news.
Yeah.
We go about an hour to an hour and a half of tech talk, and then we jump into games, entertainment, pop culture, or whatever we feel about, whatever we feel like talking about. Today's going to be a little bit more of a condensed show because there's just not a lot of news. So we're going to try to get through the all that news within the first hour, and then the second hour will be whatever you guys want to talk about. AMA.
Yeah.
During the show, we do drink alcohol. However, we do keep the content as friendly as possible in both language and content. If you are drinking along with us, please
let us know in the chat.
Jeff's audio sounds muffled. I think I was down a little bit from another thing that I was doing. There we go. If you're drinking along with us, let us know in the chat. We'll give some early show shout outs. And if you feel like dropping a super chat my way, it is much appreciated, and we will read all of those that come in. Did I get it all?
Yes, I believe so.
Awesome.
Yeah. The gist of it, I mean, it's like 90%, right? I mean, it does get kind of like, oh, wait, what is my routine? Now, it's like, I'm just so used to saying it every time. I actually maybe write it down, but I never do.
Sorry, I was doing a voiceover thing earlier, which is a much lower level than podcast levels. So I forgot to turn my mic back up. But you know what? I fixed the bitrate in the live stream and everything else. So and everyone's saying, there we go. Awesome.
Yeah, there we go.
Now that I'm in the show, welcome to the show.
Let's see. We already got a couple of drinks going on. Utapil Blade Bikini Summer Wheat by Novella Hub, 5.2%.
Glenmorangie, I believe is how you say that one. Sherry cask finish, 12-year Scotch.
Ooh.
From Richard.
It's a bit early for Scotch right now. Maybe later in the show.
Yep.
It's always the perfect time for Scotch for Jeff, though.
Yeah. Usually little, even just a quarter ounce. That's all I really need, after the show. Just a little bit.
Jeff just leans over to the side. Glug, glug, glug.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm back.
What'd I miss? All right. Let's get straight into it. John, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a Orange Starfire by Asland Beer Company. This was actually sent to me by one of your Patreons.
What the heck?
Yes. The benefits of getting all the wonderful benefits and not doing any of the work.
How long are my coattails? My goodness.
So yeah, it's basically just really actually it seems to be a very standard IP. It's not even 6%, it's 5.7. So nice. Pretty low. But I kind of wanted to just drink it on here since it was given to me by one of your Patreons. I was like, well, I at least want to,
nice.
Did
Novella Hub sound that out, or
yeah.
who was that one? Yeah. Nailed it.
Thank you as always, Novella Hub. You rock. We do have a $2 super chat. Big Spoon. First, fellas. I guess Big Spoon can claim first if he pays me money. Because the first comment does have a price, and apparently it's $2. $5. Big Spoon. Can we get Hops to bring out the boot for this show?
That's only for my show.
Yeah. We practice responsible drinking on Jeff's show.
Yes, exactly. That's why I can't. I mean, I could drink out of it. This one beer, sure. I'm not going to fill it up.
Right. I don't think anyone wants to watch you drink a heel, though.
just bubbling boring. Up. Although I can do a classic John pour, then just straight down.
That's right.
Like, this is nitro or not, doesn't matter. I got room.
I've seen your head work. You can probably fill that thing with a single pint.
With a single, yeah.
All right, and I realized I forgot to grab my beer out of the fridge. So if you want to pour yours real quick,
I
we'll,
sure
jump away.
can. Let's go ahead.
And Skull says he missed the name of the beer, so announce it again.
Oh, it is Aslan Beer Company Orange Starfire. So it's got this kind of a starfish, and then this blue, what looks like, you know, water as a label. Pretty simple label, but cool at the same time. It's very light looking. Almost kind of pours a little white and orange creamsicle looking. There we go. Yeah, very, very like off-putting, faded, creamy white. You can't. It comes off more yellow to you guys, but here, yeah, there's like a shade of white to it. Looks like a creamsicle.
Looks like molded Tang.
Yeah, kind of like that. Smells good though. What'd you get?
I'm drinking the one you brought me yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Or the day before.
The day before.
Boulevard Brewing Restless Nights, collaboration with Boulevard and Modern Times, correct?
Yes, I was going to say, I believe it's a collaboration.
Yeah. Boulevard Brewing and Modern Times collaboration, Restless Nights. It's a bourbon barrel-aged coffee porter with bourbon barrel-aged beans.
Yes, I thought you'd appreciate that beer.
Yes. And shockingly, only 7.5%.
Well, that was the other thing. I was like, well, this is, if you're ever wanting a light barrel-aged beer, I hope it's good. Don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I'll try anything barrel-aged.
Right, that's, yeah, so.
It looks like coffee. Like it's a very, very...
Is it looking like it's pouring thick?
No, it's not.
Interesting. Oh, yeah.
It's fairly light-bodied. You can already tell that. Not a huge head on it.
No, not a huge head on it.
But that was actually kind of a light color as it was coming through. I mean, once it's in the glass, it's pretty thick. But
yeah, that's the same with this one. It was much lighter pouring out. Oops, there we go. It's in the camera view. It's lens. I have to actually have my beer almost all the way to the arm's length away, or else the camera focuses on it.
Yep.
No, this is actually pretty nice. It's very strong aromatic with a hint of grass, like a lot of tropical lemon, lime. Kind of reminds me more of haze. I know this is a hazy IPA, obviously, but more of how tropical IPAs used to smell like 10 years ago. Not this big, not a whole lot of fruit. There's some in there, but then there's still pine in this, which is nice in the aroma. And the flavor is nice and light. A lot of grass notes, surprising. It's like wheat, grass, and citrus peel.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's really nice.
This one, shockingly enough, smells like coffee with a little bit of chocolate. I mean, it's kind of hard to go wrong with that.
Right, I know.
It's definitely way more light-bodied than I'm used to tasting in a barrel-aged porter or stout, because usually they're very, very thick. This is light and bubbly and actually a little bit too carbonated. It's
almost needs to go. You want it to go flat.
Needs to go a little. Yeah, it needs to go a little bit flat because the carbonation is actually not allowing me to taste much inside of here.
Yeah,
it tastes like cold coffee.
Yeah, I hate when they overcarbonate something and stuff like that happens. I don't know if they intentionally did that or it's just like, hey, we gotta, it's a porter. This is how much we pressurize or ferment our pressurize this stouts or porters or whatever, and that's how it gets canned. Because it is 7.5%, so it's not like super like big in ABV.
Right. I'm going to reserve judgment until this one warms up a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get rid of any of that carbonation, but thus far, I'm not a huge fan. Really not.
Well, it sounded good. Someone's still saying your mic is a little quiet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Level wise, I'm dead even with John, so I don't know what the problem is.
I hear you good.
And I'm going through the same mic channel that you're getting. I'm using the same capture. So
no, I think because I'm going through a much cheaper microphone. Mine's coming off very tinny, but really high end.
Yeah.
And yours is very mid-range, it seems to be, and that might be making people think that, oh, you're lower.
Wrong mic selected. I only have one microphone plugged in.
It might. I want to talk about me. I'm gonna move my mic a little closer. Let's see. Do that. See if that helps. So, yeah, it's my old boom mic. I could go with my lapel, but this is all set up now. Okay.
I don't know, people. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, you got another super chat.
Awesome. Cajoling Technologies. I like that name. $4.99. Hey, just built a PC for 4K streaming and a home YouTube studio for my channel. What bitrate and OBS? I'm assuming you're using NVENC also. I am using NVENC, although YouTube does not like the new NVENC encoder. So if I post a live stream with the new NVENC, then it drops it down to like 10 frames per second. It's really frustrating. And I've made that mistake multiple times.
Is that what happened Monday?
Yeah, that's what happened Monday. So if you go look at my stream with Bite My Bits from Monday, the playback is about 10 frames per second, and that's after YouTube re-encodes it. It doesn't like that codec for whatever reason, but it does like the standard NVENC. So if you use that, that's perfectly fine. I'm streaming up at 4K 30, and what I found is somewhere between 12.5 and 14.5 works really good for that upload. I've also done 1080 60, and usually about 8 megabit gets that done. So you don't need a huge amount of data piping out. You don't need to send 40 megs up to get a pretty good looking stream. Coaster stuck to my cup.
I'm like watching the YouTube, and I was like, wow, your mouth is still moving. Your audio cut out. And I was like, oh, wait, no. The live is right next to it. And notes. All right. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
All right. The first story of the day. Now, this is not necessarily breaking news, because if you are a craft beer fan, you probably have already seen this. Yep. And if you live in California or anywhere else, you've probably already seen this, and you're a beer drinker. But one of the world's most sought after IPAs, especially probably one in the United States at least, and the West Coast, and usually considered in any beer list top 5 like best beers ever. 90% of the time, this beer's 1 or 2 considered a lot of time. And what I'm talking about, Russian River Brewing's Pliny the Elder, probably the grandfather, the granddaddy of all West Coast Imperial IPAs. 90% of the time, the only way to get it is you got to go to the brewery and you got to pick it up in one of their bottles there. Or if your local tap room's lucky enough to get a keg of it, it's there. Otherwise, you'll never see it in a bottle shop. Nowhere else. Well, because of the whole Mexican virus stuff, they've done something that they said they wouldn't ever do. It's actually can Pliny the Elder.
Yep. And
the other really cool part is, if you live anywhere in California, you can get it shipped to your house.
Yep. Now,
actually, the interesting thing is, though, this actually isn't the regular recipe for Pliny the Elder. This isn't the classic. This is actually it's called Pliny for President. It's a special blue label can, kind of very old school Americana with a red Pliny, some stars, and everything that comes in a 4-pack. They didn't tell me the price, but officially went out May the 22nd. I already saw tons of people having this on the craft beer scene that I'm a part of, and but this is actually hopped differently. So this actually has a different dry hop schedule with different hops than the standard one. So it's actually not the original Pliny the Elder. That's what makes it a little bit different. So you're actually still not getting Pliny the Elder. This is Pliny for President, or Pliny the Elder, Pliny for President.
Yes, yeah, they are putting it under the Pliny the Elder name.
Yes,
and they have distributed some other variants of it. There was Pliny the Younger, or Pliny the
Younger. Yeah, so Pliny the Younger is the triple IPA version.
Yeah. So there have been variants of the recipe out there, but so they're holding true. This still isn't the original recipe of Pliny the Elder being distributed.
Yeah, no, it went live on the 26th, and within 2 hours, they said they were already fully sold out. That's how fast it went. And I think even when I saw this article, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go create some notes here for us, and I'll pop it on there. Like 10 minutes later, it was already on your Discord, like, oh, Pliny is over, it's coming out. And I was like, dang it, everyone's already gonna know about this. But it is that big of a deal. It's one of those, even if you like are a big Haze Boy fan or whatever, and even if you don't think it's the greatest beer, it's one of those badge checklists. You kind of almost want to have Pliny the Elder under your badge of like, I had it. Even if you don't think it's that great.
I'm ashamed to say I haven't yet.
I would almost say I bet you haven't you. Didn't we bring one?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
And then I know because I know there's a couple of restaurants here in the Salem area that you usually get it like every third Saturday, or every fifth Saturday is what it is, or Friday, every fifth Friday, I think is what they call it. Venties gets it.
Oh, really?
On draft. So,
well, heck, that's right around the corner.
Exactly. But then theirs is the original recipe, and then they also are guaranteed the younger too. Younger is actually worth going after. If you like big malty old school, because Pliny the Elder, the original recipe is that old school. It's clear. I can see through the IPA. It's malty. It's grassy. It's piney. Again, too, this is a recipe that was made in early 2000s. So, and they still maintain that recipe. So it's not going to be this big juice bomb. So you might sit there and think it's okay. But take it in the context that this recipe has been going for 20 years. 20 plus years.
It's kind of in that same category of the Sierra Nevada Pale and the Stone IPA and those kind of standards that were established in the late 90s, early 2000s. That are still very, very pure as far as beers go. There's not a lot of additives. There's not a lot of weird processes. It's just hops, malt, barley. Toss it in a bin, let it ferment, and do your thing.
So it's basically like the granddaddy of I think this was number 2 or number 3. I forget who did it first, Stone or them, of Imperial IPAs. So it is the quintessential West Coast IPA style type of a thing. So that if you got your hands on it, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people trading for this. I don't think it's going to be too worth it, but I did find it interesting, and I hope that because of this being success, that maybe they do can more, maybe they do distribute, maybe we'll even find it more on like Tavor or something like that can be distributed even larger areas. I mean, I even know Hetty Topper somehow made it over this way to Oregon, which they claimed 3 years ago. They claimed 3 years ago they would never do it because when I owned the tap room, I begged them to be like, I will fly out there and just mail me a case, or I'll pay the $100 in shipping. They're like, no, we don't do that. And
I will say, Hetty Topper worth a plane trip.
No, I mean, again,
that one's worth a flight.
It's worth one of the check-ins. It is.
That was amazingly good.
I mean, Steve didn't care for it too much, and I understand that people still do that. I mean, when you're big beer drinkers like us, we try lots of different styles, the weirdest stuff. And then when you get to this, like, this is supposed to be a solid beer. This is their flagship beer that is still relevant today, that people still think is one of the greatest beers out there because they're still doing it the exact same way. And it's worth trying that. It's like having the greatest pastrami sandwich or something like that. You can get pastrami anywhere and someone makes it different all these other places, but you want that little deli in the back of New York, and that just makes it the best way because they marinate it some special way. So
that one pizza house in Chicago, that one sub shop in Philly,
they've been they haven't cleaned their oven in 40 years and the grease is collected and it's got that little bit of burnt flavoring all over the place. So you just actually that I swear. So there's a pizza place local to me, used to be local, Abby's Pizza. And their kitchen caught on fire and they had to get rid of their oven and buy a new one. And I swear, ever since then, I was like,
It's just not the same.
Not the same.
It's not the
I mean,
same.
it's close, but it's just like there was more grease. There was more. It just felt like everything was seasoned. That oven was seasoned. Every pot and pan that they made a pizza in was seasoned perfectly for like 30 years. Because I remember going
there's stories of distilleries getting new pot stills and using the exact same recipe in the exact same location and under the exact same circumstances, temperature, humidity, everything else, and their distillate, their liquor that they're producing comes out tasting so bizarre.
Yeah.
And it turns out that because the old still was like this old copper still and was like beaten and dinged in all these other places, well, they got a new one that was perfectly smooth. It didn't produce the same, distillate. And so they would actually go back in with a hammer and recreate the dents in the still, and that actually fixed the flavor profile.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That is time and time again that story has come up, and it's definitely true that the equipment that you use and the length of time that it's used for absolutely has something to do with your end result. So yeah, it's same kind of thing. And someone says it's 2020. I feel old. I made my wife feel really old earlier today. She said something, and I said, I've been doing it that way for 17 years. She goes, we haven't been together that long. I went,
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, yeah. Well,
17 years.
Yeah. Well, speaking of like Russian River and Sierra Nevada, I believe, and I don't remember which way it went. I was trying to Google it just now, but I remember whichever one started first. I think Sierra Nevada started first. And the way Russian River started out was they got the original equipment by just pure chance that Sierra Nevada started with.
Oh.
And the original fermenter, the original boiler, everything. And they were using that for the longest time. And then Sierra Nevada bought it back from them. And so it was very interesting because the head, and again, I could have the two reversed, but it was the head brewer, the original owner. He hand built it, all hand welded it, hand hammered it, and everything like that. And so I know it finally got back to its original home. I'll probably go look that article up and post it on Discord. It's a really fun read for beer culture and everything. Yeah. So yeah.
Big Spoon, isn't Pliny the Younger the better stuff? It is the bigger stuff.
It is the bigger stuff. It is the
triple IPA.
I personally do prefer that just because it's after you've had so many IPA, it's that more complex. You can really enjoy it. But again, too, if you want to come at it as, look, here's the original West Coast double IPA. You want to taste the grandfather of them all, this is it. And you should taste that to appreciate everything else. What? My battery's low. Hang on. Oh, what? My son unplugged my laptop. Probably while playing, and there we go. It's plugged in now.
Okay. I still have not built a technical difficulties flag to hang over the other side of this chat window. I really should.
Oh, don't worry. There'll be at least one today.
Yeah.
I got to change batteries.
I've been wanting to do like the Zoidberg, like holding up like a bunch of videotape or something like that. Whoop. Yeah. Technical difficulties and have the music play. Just dun, 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 dun. Just a little piano jig.
I don't.
Anyway, Anheuser-Busch has a plan.
Yes, they do have a plan. When you open this, be careful. The video automatically plays.
I already paused it.
Good, thank you. So we've talked about this because of what's going on right now. We've talked about this a number of times. Beer is expiring.
Yes.
And
kegs have a 3-month shelf life.
Exactly, and we've basically reached that already.
Yeah.
And that's if you got your keg right at the beginning too. So most of these places probably have been sitting on 3-month-old kegs already and serving it to you, like those dive bars. You'll taste it, trust me. You'll know. It just tastes flat and weird and wow.
God, I hope they clean their lines.
Yeah,
that's all I hope for.
I would rather have a 6-month-old beer on clean lines than a fresh beer on dirty lines.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can think of after helping you run the tap house a little bit. God, I hope they clean their lines. That's all. That's all I want.
So many stories I heard from guys like, oh yeah, I went clean their lines. It's like, oh, it's so disgusting.
Yep.
So disgusting. But so Anheuser-Busch has a plan to actually help out all of the bars and tap rooms and restaurants that basically have expired kegs. They are actually doing. I think this is actually pretty cool because they're going to lose money on this.
Yeah.
And now it's not necessarily a plan of what to do with expired beer on their side, but what to do with the restaurants, the tap room. What are they doing with their expired beer? They're saying, call us up and we will trade you flat out for a brand new fresh keg of beer because we want our brand to be represented as we're giving you fresh beer and that's what you're getting every time. So they are planning on trading. You just call up your local distributor and they will trade. They're told to be straight out. And I believe this is even for open kegs too.
Yeah.
So freshly tapped ones. They will give you a brand new keg of Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light, whatever their version of the product is, because they are guaranteeing that they want, the way they phrase it was, they want your first beer to be a fresh beer.
Yeah.
This is because places are starting to open up, and certain places phase one is 25% occupancy in certain restaurants, and to my surprise, I don't know why, but Anheuser-Busch seems to be very popular in a lot of restaurants as a beer choice. I wouldn't pick it, but whatever.
Yeah, but no, this is absolutely a class move by them. I was reading the article. Anheuser-Busch shares are down 50%.
Yeah,
and they're not alone in that metric as far as food, beer, wine, liquor, etc. The entire industry. They're not alone in that segment of we are down literally 50% of our value. But they're still going about things the right way. They still donated $1 million for relief efforts. They're still, going after efforts like this of replacing kegs that have gone bad and helping the small guys because Anheuser-Busch knows they can probably weather the storm. Whereas the little mom and pop, tap houses, they're not going to be so lucky. And this is an awesome move by them.
Yeah, no, actually, something interesting I did read wasn't this article. And I thought about posting it, but it was very small in detail. Was that there is actually the beer companies they are finding that are flourishing actually during this are the extremely cheap beers. The Natty Light, the Busch Lights are actually, they said their sales actually went up 8%.
Yeah. Do you know why that is? It's the same reason that every time there's an economic downturn, you start seeing Little Caesars pop up in place of the local mom and pop pizza shops. It's because Little Caesars is cheap.
Yes, exactly. So, but again, too, those are
Little
also
Caesars all but died in the mid 2000s. All of a sudden, 2008 popped up, and there were like 7 of them within driving distance.
Oh yeah,
with the housing crisis.
In all honesty, I kind of like Little Caesars now. As a quick, I
love Little Caesars.
I will take a fresh Little Caesars over quite a few things actually. Price point and flavor. If I get it fresh, it's actually extremely good. Totally. I think well worth the value. Now I know that there's better mom and pop shops, but I'm paying, $14 a slice. I'm paying $5 for a whole pie.
Yeah, exactly.
And I literally just pull up in my car and take it and drive away.
There's a Little Caesars and there's a Domino's in my area, and they're the exact same distance away from me. And it's kind of like a 50-50 split. If I want to spend $2 more and get a better crust, go to Domino's. If I want, $5 in and out, Little Caesars.
That's exactly
and
what
Crazy
I do.
Bread.
Yes. Oh my God. And there again, if you just get it fresh, I think they probably have the best.
By the way, this segment is not sponsored by Little Caesars.
It can be though. It could be. I did try their new one.
This space for sale.
I did try their new one, with the extra mozzarella, and it was too much cheese. Too much cheese. Yeah. Just their standard pepperoni is great. I never have tried though that bacon wrapped crust one.
I have. It's pretty solid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I actually prefer their deep dish. The $8.
The $8?
Yeah.
I'll go get the lunch, the deep dish lunch special. It's only $5 and you get the 4 slices. It's like, honestly, that's all I need. I don't need a whole lot.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's some pretty cool class acts. And then I like at the end too, they also talk about in this article, a lot of the other places that have done the Bacardi has donated 3 million. They even talked about the Ryan Reynolds Aviation Gin. So yeah.
And Courage and Stone should be on that list as well for Aisha Tyler's company.
Yeah.
I said it, put my money where my mouth is. It's exactly what I did. I heard Aviation was donating 40% of all proceeds to out of work bartenders, and so was Courage and Stone. And I went online and I bought that same day. I went, if they're going to support them, I'm going to support these companies because they're doing the right thing regardless of profit or anything like that. So I don't know that I'm going to go out and buy a 12-pack of Budweiser to support Anheuser-Busch, but you know, I'll buy a Goose Island. You know, I'll buy something, maybe a 10 barrel.
It's all right. It's all right. See, you don't have to buy it. Other people buy it and then they give it to you. Because so you got someone to buy it.
Yeah.
So you got Bite My Bits to buy Bud Light Lemonade. Me and Bite My Bits to buy Bud Light Lemonade.
Speaking of Bite My Bits, $2 donations sold. I guess he's buying my space for sale. This segment brought to you by Bite My Bits, the second best YouTube channel on YouTube.
He just wants to have a dancing thing on your
$2. $2.
I wanted to be there the day he filmed all of those and just had to edit them. And just like, what am I doing with it?
Anyway, moving right along. You get what you pay for, Jason. That's all I can tell you.
Well,
moving right along.
Yeah, moving right along. That is it for the beer news.
Yep. That's all I got for beer news. So
yeah,
31 minutes into beer news.
That's fine. At
Someone
least
can comment it.
Wasn't like last time, hour and 10, hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah, it was 70 minutes of beer news last week. Because again, last week was very sparse for news as well. All right. Moving right along. So Apple has been long rumored to be bringing a set of augmented reality glasses to the market. Kind of similar to Google Glass with the Google Glass Explorer edition that came out years and years ago, where they're trying to do... The world are you doing, John?
Oh, my son is staring at me.
Okay.
he is like, he wants to watch.
Okay.
No, it's to you, Jeff. Come here.
Okay. I was going, I'm watching you. What do you want? Do I cut to commercial? Am I over time? I didn't think I was. Anyway, very similar to the Google Glass Explorer edition that came out years ago. This is going to be a wear on your face all the time, pop-up notifications, Google, map directions, music, camera, etc.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty concrete evidence that they're getting very close to release, because we now have leaked documentation of pricing, as well as some particular models that may be coming out. What we do know is Google Glass is going to, or Google Glass. I keep calling it Google Glass because it is Google Glass first.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how Apple's going to get away with calling it Glass, because Google already had a retail product identical in almost every single description. Like, it's a pair of glasses you wear on your face that projects things into your eyes. Oh, like Google Glass.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're going to call it like Google Eyeglass with the eye part of it. And so it's like
eyeglasses.
Yeah. Google
eyeglasses would work.
Eyeglasses. Yeah. Google or Apple eyeglass. I was doing it too.
Yeah. See? Because Google Glass was already a thing. It's been in my brain for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just take that back. And this is why copyright law exists. Anyway, Apple Glass will start at retail for about $4.99, and it will work with your prescription lenses. But
now they're stating that will probably be a higher price with the prescription added, though.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And that's kind of natural for things. There's a number of companies that offer things like that, and then prescriptions are extra. You look at Oculus Rift, or HTC, where you can get prescription lenses, but you have to pay extra for the prescription lenses. Yet again, sticking it to us guys who are blind.
I mean, I got contacts, so I'm good.
I know.
Anyway, so a lot of cool features that are coming out for the for Apple Glass. I almost called it Google again. For Apple Glass. Did you ever try a Google Glass Explorer kit?
I did not. I even signed up to be a prototype developer for it, and they were. I missed it by like a couple hundred people for me to get a prototype one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but did you ever get to try it?
I did get to try it. A buddy of mine had one, and probably the coolest aspect that I had never really thought about was driving directions. Wearing something on your face that has your driving directions just hovering above your vision, and it has a 3D representation of a map.
Yeah.
In your vision, so kind of like your GPS does on your dashboard, but as you turned, it would turn in your vision and rotate in real time, and it's like that is cool.
That's cool.
That is the Star Trek level tech that I've been waiting to get in my life.
Now, I remember like the commercial for it stating like walking directions with the arrow too. I was like, oh, I always thought that was cool because I always really liked the aspect more of not the messenger and I get to read my messages. It was more of just walking around or the looking up a price and it gives you information.
Can you fly a Black Hawk helicopter? Not yet.
Yeah. There we go. Somehow I know Kung Fu.
Yeah. Now I do. I'm watching the YouTube video for it right now.
Yeah. It has AI and it's going to anticipate the guy's move and it's going to tell me when to block and how to do it.
That's what Trinity was doing. She wasn't actually like downloading the instruction manual for Black Hawk helicopter. She was just watching the YouTube video, someone starting it up. She goes, okay, so this lever.
Yeah.
Click. Okay.
Oh, damn it. It's an ad. It's an ad. Get off. Click, next.
Neo, I can't skip for another 10 seconds.
Yeah. Just hold him there. Hang on.
So I can't move my main camera, but I can move John's camera. So I brought in my dog bed because my dog was going to stay in here, and my cat took it over. You can see him down there.
We just saw your thigh.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, we saw it in the pan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I just looked down and my cat is laying on my massive dog bed. He kicked the dogs out of it.
Well, your cat's pretty big, so.
He's getting bigger every day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said, well, he's a Siberian cat. He's the second largest domestic house cat. So 20 pounds is kind of like the zero threshold. Like if he's not 20, he's undersized. So he's, 7 months old, and I think he just crossed 9.5 or 10 pounds.
Jeez.
Like he's a big cat.
Yeah.
And he's still got probably another year to keep growing. So, he's gonna be a big one.
I'm gonna be right back. I got 2 minutes, and my son would like to be tucked in.
Not a problem.
All right. You can, if you had, this is the time where you need either technical difficulties or, if Jason wants to buy this space, you could put a picture of him up there.
That's right, Jason. This space is for sale. Yeah, $50. $50. I'll put your face up. So yeah, I am kind of looking forward to the world of augmented tech. Like I said, I did get to try a Google Glass Explorer edition. And while it wasn't the best experience in the world, it wasn't like mind-changing, there were some aspects of it that I would really like to incorporate into my daily life. Now, number one, I'm a glasses wearer anyway, so why not accentuate, what I've already got on me? But the driving directions for your map, and the same thing that I would use a smartwatch for, which is checking notifications. Do I need to pull my phone out of my pocket right now? And that's exactly $1, Jason. You know what? $1 will put your face up here. Hold on a second. Right. My bits. Let's just get an image of. There we go. 6 seconds here. 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now we got Bite My Bits. Happy?
That's your $1. You just spent your $1. Can I go full screen with it? Nope. Stupid Windows. All right. Nope. Jeez. All right. Jason's up on screen. Good enough. All right. Anyway, yeah, there weren't like, paradigm shifting aspects of Google Glass, but I'd use it the same way that I would use a smartwatch, which is if my phone goes off in my pocket and that's my email chime. Do I need to read this email right now? Do I actually need to take it out of my pocket, unlock the phone, go to my email, open that message and read it? Or is it something that I can save for another time? And I had a Pebble, and I wore a Pebble for almost 3 years before they were unfortunately bought out by Fitbit. It's... I would get a notification and I would go, oh, that's from this person. I've been waiting to hear from them. So now I can take my phone out of my pocket and use it. Otherwise, it's nope. And so it didn't save me an immense amount of time every single time, but it saved me 30 seconds from having to take my phone out of my pocket, open it up, unlock it. What was the notification? Who's it from? Oh, I can deal with that later. Versus nope, and I can get back to work. And so you do that 100 times a day. That's a crap ton of time that you've saved not looking at your phone.
Okay.
John, your voice has changed dramatically.
You finish your beer?
I'm about 2/3 of the way through.
Oh, okay. I'm about half.
Cajoling Technologies. Are we bidding for this ad spot? $2.99 would bump you up in the bidding. So, absolutely, I'll sell this ad spot. I don't need to look at John all day.
Wait, did he actually buy it?
He paid $1, so I put his image up over your face.
At least pixelated. Oh,
right.
Oh, so good looking.
If only he could grow a beard. So, you're not even done with yours yet. What are you doing asking me if I'm done with mine?
I said I was half done.
Oh.
I'm closer than you are.
Eh.
You got the wide body. I got the tiny little stem.
It's true.
So, wait. Okay.
All right, my cat wants out. 10 seconds.
Aha! I'm going to sell your ad space.
There you go.
If only I can control it. I have a sticky note that technically on my screen that is Jason. But I don't know if that actually how YouTube works. But I did sell your space while you were gone.
Okay.
But it was only on my personal screen.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So John's going to stare at your advertisement for the next 20 minutes.
Yep, that's how it works.
Are you going to buy anything?
No. Not from that channel.
I wonder if you can use Apple Glass to cheat in Valve Index games, AR and VR. Not likely, unless you have the cheat codes like open in front of you and manage to cram your face into that with a pair of glasses.
Oh yeah, well I don't even know because I was looking over some of the guesswork patent designs, and so they were talking about they wanted it to be, and I don't know if you said it while I was gone, but to be more of it's still being most of the processing power still being on your phone.
On your phone, right?
Yeah, and so they're trying to make it more slim and sleek. But some of the designs that were showing, I was like, I wouldn't wear that. That's not a very slim and sleek design. What? At least that.
Now let me just say, all of the renders are just that. They're fans going, "This is what it could look like.
Yeah.
It's the future, man." They have no idea what they're going to look like.
Yeah, I know. So now the main picture that's on there, if they do look like normal glasses, but maybe
normal
thicker,
glasses
with thicker bands,
right?
I would probably, oh yeah, okay, I'm down with, basically everything's just a little bit thicker. So it looks very, 80s nerd type thing. Yeah, I'd be probably down to wear something like that, trying it out.
Yeah, I've seen your regular glasses when you don't wear your contacts.
Yeah. I wear them a lot of time at work, just they're UV protective. So
Yep.
it's not a good image on my beer drinking channel, Jeff. Glasses.
I think you'd get more street cred if you wear some rimmed glasses, actually.
I was thinking about an eye patch.
You need a fedora, though.
Oh, I have one.
Nah, I know. John is a card-carrying member of the hipster movement.
Oh, I am. I think just about everyone in Oregon has some kind of fedora or hipster. I think I got a pipe around here, too.
I may own a flat cap.
Yeah. Hang on.
Just saying.
I'm just gonna do the whole episode like that.
There you go.
Doing the whole time. I got my craft IPA.
Craft IPA glass.
And my pipe. There we go. That's all we need. And
Awesome.
my cheap artisan or my artisan beer mug to do something fancy. Well, actually, I needed like a mason jar. If I had a mason jar, that would be more hipster.
I got some upstairs. Calculator watches were the new hotness back then.
I had a calculator watch.
I did. I totally had one.
I thought it was cool. Like, you guys need something multiplied? I got this. This.
Quick. Ask me what the square root of whatever is.
Yeah, I got this.
I can totally do this.
The only problem I hated about those.
Too.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Just looking at regular time, though, the screen was so small. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's hard to read.
Chris says, at the dawn of the "you'll never have a calculator everywhere you go" movement, my math teacher told me you'll never have a calculator everywhere you go, and I pulled out the calculator that was built into my cell phone at the time, and I didn't like that. And I also got that argument again in like 2001, so I pulled out my Palm Pilot, which had a graphing calculator on it. So, yeah. All right, SpaceX. I was hoping to talk some about SpaceX, but SpaceX official standing down.
Yeah, it was a big thing today. It was like everywhere. And I think we were looking at notes. I was like, oh, let's talk about some SpaceX.
Yeah, hopefully they launched, so we have something to talk about.
Yeah, and nope. And it was close too. It was like 10 minutes before, and they're like, oh, it's getting cloudy.
I do like the memes that came out of this though.
Oh yeah, my favorite was the Simpson old man.
Old man yells at cloud. Yeah, that's second on the list right here. Yeah, no, they were all great.
Yeah, there was the dunking one.
Yeah, Elon launching Weather X to fix this problem. Yeah, so they're gonna try again on Saturday. Saturday at 19:30, I believe, UTC. So, unfortunately, that's all there is for that kind of news.
Yeah, nothing else. It took like 3 hours to discharge the rocket.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is boring. The stream kept going as they're like, now they're getting out. And I'm like, I don't care. There was anticipation.
So now he's taking his seatbelt off. Well,
yeah,
doing this today.
They got to release the gas, and it takes an hour and a half before they can put the bridge back up. Well, he just pushed the button. Yep, and he just pushed the next second button to release.
The bridge is extending.
Yeah,
the captain looks really pissed off.
That's all it was. It was like, no, end the feed. Just be done with it.
Yeah, as soon as mission's canceled, I'm not interested anymore. But for those who don't know, this is going to be NASA's first manned mission and SpaceX's first manned mission. So NASA's first since what, 2012?
Yeah, a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. And SpaceX's first human cargo, I guess you can call them.
Well, yeah, that's kind of why it's a kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of and I think they're just going up into the atmosphere. I don't even think they're orbiting, and I think they're just coming back down, aren't they?
No, they're docking with the ISS.
Oh, are they? Oh,
yeah, they're resupplying, refueling, doing all that jazz. Yeah.
Oh.
So, cajoling tech, new to the channel. Do you guys work in tech? Yes.
I'm a systems administrator and have been for about 10 years, I guess you could say officially. I've been in tech for about 14 years. John is a programmer, pretty similar track record as far as time length. So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yep.
This is so stupid. And this is gonna age me, but every time someone says yep, I think of
Ducky.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
If you don't know that, if you don't know that reference, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it's like, oh my gosh. And it's not. Yeah. I just feel that every time I hear that, and I don't know why. That's weird.
Yep.
I hated those cartoons.
I loved that cartoon as a kid. I watched Land Before Time so many times.
I did not like it. I guess for me, I didn't like. I hated that Littlefoot looked like an old man already. I hated that.
He was a whiny little bitch, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I mean, who cares if your grandparents died? Geez, get over it. Spider-Man did, or uncle. At least with his uncle.
On Discord, Becky Poo says trying out a 95-cent beer, and Civil says keep us posted. Yes, please keep us posted. Or Scotty says keep us posted. I want to hear results of that 95-cent beer. I'd love pictures if you can.
Yeah, send pictures of it. I bought a $1.50 malt liquor today that I purposely bought extra to share with Jeff one day. So, because I know Jeff is a big fan of whiskeys and bourbons, and just happens to be made from one of those special companies. And at $1.50 a pint.
I know what you bought.
Yeah. And at $1.50 a pint.
You don't even have to go further. I know what you bought. You got some of that Jack Daniel's strawberry crap, didn't you?
It's like lemonade, I think. It's lemonade and watermelon.
Oh, God.
So.
No, I saw that in the store the other day. My local store already had it on clearance.
Yep. That's how I got it too.
Yep.
I was like, I can't pass it up for that price.
Civil also got an amazing screen cap of us on Discord. I don't know if you've been.
I did see that one. That was a great one.
Oh, nice. Becky's beer. I don't know if you can see the screenshot of it. Good ass beer.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I'm
actually gonna. There we go. Good ass beer.
There we go. Light beer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Have a good ass time.
95 cents. Was it on sale or is that like regular price?
I'm going to assume that's regular price.
I kind of want to. All right. Whatever.
Anyway, we got a couple more to get to here. Grand Theft Auto 6 in 2023. Take-Two SEC filings says that it might reveal the release date of GTA 6.
Release date corrected. Yes.
Yeah, and then, of course, corrected with in the article in between us reading it and posting it.
Yep.
So what did they correct? I don't know. I had this intro all done, and now they've thrown this in my face.
So one of my friends have actually had that good ass beer, and they seem to like it. They gave it a 3.75.
Really?
So it doesn't get that average of a rating, but
Becky says she thinks it was on sale. It was by the checkout.
It's one of
That's
those.
Another difference between Oregon and a lot of places. We have to have beer as far away from the checkout as humanly possible. It's actually a state law.
Yeah, they can't have a counter purchase.
Yep. Yeah, it can't be an impulse purchase. Yeah. And so your beer section from your main entrance, it's literally the longest place away in the store.
Yeah, it's just basically you always just head to the back.
Yep.
Which is weird. It's not that way with wine. You can have wine a little bit closer.
You can have wine close to the entrance, but you can't have beer near the checkouts.
This is so dumb. I wonder if it's a pricing issue. Because I remember when I had my liquor license, that was one of the things that you have to read through and scroll through. And like, okay, you can't do that, but they never explained really why. It's just like, according to state legislation X5742-1, beer must be X amount of feet from register.
Right.
okay.
No, it's actually a law, and it's weird.
Yeah, I know, but there's no reasoning behind it of like for the safety of the people, or this. It's like no, it just has to be. I think it's actually more like you can have I think it's like 12 or 15 feet away, but yeah, it's nowhere near like oh, it's right next to the counter. But as
Okay. So I'm reading the correction here, trying to multitask here.
Yeah.
Correction in the article. Take-Two clarifies to GamesBeat that this marketing obligation metric refers only to its contracts with third parties. It does not reflect the marketing budget for internal studios like Rockstar Games. This means it does not indicate a timeline for Grand Theft Auto 6. I apologize for this misleading error. However, they haven't taken the article down or changed the context of the article, which I always find bad. I appreciate owning up and posting a correction, but at the same time, this article still is going to hit SEO. Is you didn't correct the title other than saying correction. Well, posting I was wrong, sorry, at the top of the article or on page 4 in the paper doesn't do a lot to stop the article from.
Well, especially when the correction is at the end of the header, and so the header's only so long on most people's browsers for the beginning, and they're like, oh, I'll click that. Yeah. This was we can keep it up because we're still going to get views and clicks and everything like that.
Yep.
But I bet this probably was a genuine, I needed to be first on this. I didn't do enough research.
It's exactly what it is. And in fact, Steve posted a follow-up article right afterwards that analyst speculates on GTA 6 release date from a spike in the marketing budget for Take-Two, because your budgets have to be submitted to the SEC if you're a publicly traded company, which Take-Two is. However, they said this marketing expenditure was for third-party studio houses and not related to Rockstar Games, either Rockstar North or Rockstar West, which are the development houses for GTA and the other in-house games.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Makes our time even shorter.
Yeah. So thanks for that, GamesBeat.
Probably won't
thought we had at least something to talk about.
Yeah, well, that took away 10 minutes.
I want to go back away from modern times. I want another Vice City. I want to go back to the 80s if we're going to do another GTA game.
Yeah, it would be more interesting to do like pre-prohibition, something like that.
Oh, even Prohibition era. Go Mobster.
Yeah, go Mobster or
go 1920s.
20s or 50s, I think would be really fun. Like leather with a bunch of like leather jacket gang, right. Something like that. Where like a bunch of hot rods are being made, chop shops, are coming out.
Yeah, get a little creative with it. I think the 20s could do really well. I really enjoyed LA Noire. Them trying that style of things in the the 50s and whatnot, or late 40s. That was a phenomenal game. And that was really one that was kind of a risk for Rockstar because it was a weird play style. They put a lot of resources into redeveloping Los Angeles as a city as of 1947. Whatever time it was. It was beautifully done.
It was. No, I remember because Steve loaded it up, because I remember that was one of the big claims of like they went and took the architecture and all the buildings and old photographies, photos, and really made it. And Steve played it in front of my dad, and he was like, "Hey, name something that you remember growing up as a kid." Like, hey, this store in this street, and because my parents grew up in LA in that area, and they drove by there and it's like, that's that little gas station. You remember? Oh, he's like, that's exactly how it looked.
Yeah.
And they were that accurate. It was like a little mom and pop deli. That's what it looked like.
It was alarmingly good.
Yeah. So, it'd almost be kind of cool too, is if they did like Europe or something somewhere else other than the United States.
That actually could be fun.
To do like, I don't know.
GTA Italy?
Yeah, GTA Italy, and you do have a bunch of minis or something like that. So you have the Italian mob,
right?
Although then be weird, everyone is speaking English, and then you'll probably offend those people. But again, you want to do something like that, or again, going to like more Godfather-esque. That would be really fun too. So I don't know, something like that.
That's kind of how GTA 3 played. It was a little bit more Godfather-esque.
Yeah.
And while it was still open world, it was very much like mobsters and stuff like that.
And we've kind of gotten away from that. We've gotten into some more personal stories, but I kind of want to do another like mobster game or another like 80s mafia kind of thing. You know, go back to Vice City, or like you said, go back to the leather jacket gang days. Or I think it's a great idea to go back to Prohibition. I think that could be a fur.
That right there, that's a story. You already have a story of gangsters and running from the police and the mobs basically running
dirty cops allowing, you know,
things to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
Speakeasies and ways of you know, crooks to get money.
Right.
You know, that would be fun. And really, actually, you know, it'd be really fun to do a big open world. Now I know open world is extremely hard, especially if you did something in the United States. To be like, you know, almost like New York and Canada, to where you can even like cross the border or something like that. That'd be
interesting. Yeah.
Or like where you can literally smuggle, or even something more like Cuba and Mexico, a little bit more modern. Again, going back to the 70s. You can do like smuggling between Florida and Mexico.
That'd be fun.
Or Florida and Cuba, sorry.
Get some old 70s 454 speedboats.
Yeah. So that yeah. That'd be, you know, there's a bunch of wishes, but then, you know, they probably poll a bunch of people. What do you want to see? What do you want to do? Yeah. And something like that's a gamble. So then, who knows? But I think I would probably be more interested in going back, because I don't think I played the last two Grand Theft Autos. I mean, I like all the way through. I probably said, I'll play it for a couple hours, and that's all I did.
Yeah.
I was more excited about like Red Dead Redemption, just because it's cowboy. It's a kind of just different world.
Yeah.
I'm tired of modern things, because the last two Grand Theft Autos, it's the same thing. I'm going to take a car, I'm going to go beat up some people, steal a car, jump it off as far as I can do that. And I had fun with that for a couple hours, and I'll play the missions for a little bit, but that was basically it. Where Red Dead Redemption, I can still do a lot of the same things, but it's cowboy, so it's a little bit different.
It's hop on your horse and go.
Hop on your horse, yeah.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different. It's the same thing, but it's different.
All right. Well, I got a problem.
I got one too.
All right.
Now, I while you get there, I don't know what this is, and I don't know if you care, but I have a beer package I would like to open.
Yeah, why don't you go for it? Because I'm gonna make myself a cocktail, so I'm gonna.
All right. So Jeff got to open up his beer package last week from someone, but I have my own sponsor. Surprisingly, I have a really cool sponsor.
Yeah, people send John stuff too. It's weird.
Yes. I know. Why would they do that? So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And I left my knife somewhere. Well, actually, I just got this in today. So I'm actually opening this up with some pin nails. I was curious. I'm really hoping this is... I've already had this. This is cool, though. I really like this beer. Wait, there's two beers. All right, so I got these two little flyers in here, but I'm pretty sure I know what this is then. It's the Notorious POG, which I believe I already did a video on, and then Stone's Soaring Dragon Imperial IPA. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So I got two cans of each, and that's really cool. I was really, really, really hoping for, they just released their Enjoy By a 4th of July yesterday. I was really hoping that that's what this was.
Ooh, POG.
Yeah, so I already did a video on the POG from last year that they originally sent me, and I already bought one of these. So you know, I will go as, since they did send me it, I have a cold one. I will go grab that and I will drink that.
There you go.
So you probably have not made your cocktail yet.
Nope.
Are you going to make it on screen?
I am.
All right, you go do that. I'm going to go pour my beer.
All right, you're good to go. So I found this in stores the other day. So this is, the other day, like a week ago. Tullamore Dew. It's an Irish whiskey, but this is a Caribbean rum cask aged. So it's a Irish whiskey that is aged in rum barrels. And the smell on it is like pineapple and coconut and very, very tropical, yet still whiskey-ish. And I went, what in the world am I going to do with this? So I had a couple snifters of it, and I'm thinking around. And I went, why don't I make a Caribbean-inspired old-fashioned out of it. And so, well, how would I do that? So we're going to do 2.5 ounces of the Tullamore Dew rum-aged whiskey over one nice big rock. There's my rocks glass. And there we go. I remade up some orgeat syrup, which is an almond milk syrup. And it's quite delicious. We're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of that. And if you make it right, it's nice and thick, so it doesn't pour very well. Anytime. Almost there. Go. So 3/4 of an ounce of orgeat syrup. Yeah. And we're going to top that off with 4 dashes of cardamom bitters, which are organic sugar, grains of paradise, cinnamon, cardamom, and walnut. And so a lot of interesting flavors there. The cinnamon is really what makes this drink kind of pop, though. And then I'm going to add 2 dashes of just your classic Angostura. And give that a stir. See if I can do this on camera. Well, my camera's in completely the wrong position to do this. And there we go. I have no idea what to call this. But it is freaking delicious. It's sweet. There's like a cinnamon cooked pineapple kind of thing going on to it. Yeah, it's
so like a
it's whiskey, but totally not.
Oh gosh. What's that alcoholic pineapple drink?
Malibu?
Not Malibu. The one I made, and
Tepache.
Tepache. It's like a whiskey Tepache.
Kinda. A little bit more spicy. It's because you have the whiskey, you have a little bit of the peppery kind of notes to it.
Mm-hmm.
From the oak aging, but there's definitely a hint of pineapple in this, and with the cardamom bitters and the cinnamon that's in that, it just it's so good. So this is kind of like a Caribbean old fashioned, but it's still made with whiskey, and it's Irish whiskey, strangely enough.
You'd think it'd be a little bit sweeter then.
Right, it's definitely still a sweet drink. It's very, very sweet, especially for only doing 3/4 of an ounce of orgeat syrup, but it's very, very good. I've been really digging this lately.
Yeah, I saw you posted that. I think probably the first time you made it on Discord. Yeah. The other cool part.
Yeah, I think I said sometimes I'm a goddamn genius.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, if you actually want to join, if you enjoy this show, this content, this community, this type of stuff, I really highly, highly recommend joining the Discord, Jeff's Discord, because we talk about this kind of stuff.
Which John claims as his own.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. John's on there too.
I'm on there too. People like me. I'll stop promoting you. It's totally fine. I don't have to do this.
Minimum donation of $1, although more is greatly appreciated because you actually do help me keep the lights on around here. But you get access to my exclusive Discord server where you can chat with myself and John, Steve, Rhett, other hosts from Talking Heads, ask us questions, post your projects, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you at me, I will respond.
If you at anyone, and the great part is the community continues to grow constantly. I think we already got a couple of new members today, earlier before the show. And again, as soon as you do that, you had other people other than the admins or even just the moderators saying, hi, hey, what's going on? The community talks to each other.
There's a welcoming community on my Discord. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, so it's very nice. We have a whole food, drink, beverage. Most of it is beverage, but we do a lot of food too. Yep. There is meme war, so there's a bit of humor area. There is, hey, what's coming up on this week's of Talking Heads? What's Jeff working on this week? in the craft computing channel. There is just a whole communications. Hey, I'm having trouble with my network. Hey, I'm building. There's a building PC area. There is a trade and sell area. There's a car area. There's a video game, which usually someone's playing something with every day, and they ask anyone to join in with them. So there's a wide range for people to communicate and have fun with. And 99% of the time, you post something, within a minute, there's someone replying to it. There's always someone on there.
Yep.
It's really fun and really cool. Yeah, it's one of my favorite, if not the best Discord I have ever said. Yes, it sounds so stupid because I'm part of it and I'm promoting it. No, actually, it is super amazing. I've never seen this closely tight knit of a Discord.
Yep.
And I have paid for other ones.
It's really sappy, but I'm really proud of the community that I built over there.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So, and the cool part too is like you have an opinion. It's like, hey, cool, that's your opinion. And we talk about, I like this PC part. I like this type of beer. I like this type of food. I don't like alcohol, whatever.
Yep.
It's totally open. So it's come as you are.
Allie says, now, boys, you're both pretty. So apparently we're both the reason that they show up.
I know, that's why. Okay, so I've had
John needs more Pert Plus to be pretty.
I do. I need to put in more conditioner before.
My wife was actually commenting, you need more conditioner.
The problem is that most of my conditioner it looks really good for like the first couple hours, and then it's the end of the day is the problem.
Yeah.
It's all dried out. I'll go take a walk in the sun or something and just dries it out. And then if I do it too much, it's just matted down and weighed down. Yeah. And even if I put because that's just the way it's hard to find a good conditioner. But this beer, I don't know if I like it. It's going to be, I think if I did a review on it, which I probably will, it's not going to be a very positive one.
Is that the tea beer or which one is that?
Yeah, this is this is the Stone's Soaring Dragon Imperial IPA with white tea. And I like tea. I like white tea too.
I do like tea. Yeah.
I just and you taste it in this beer. I just don't know if it works commercially well. Maybe if this is their one-off and they don't make this a seasonal thing, this is like, hey, we're gonna make it one time this year. Sure, it works, but it's very drying. You can smell the tea and you can smell a little bit of hops, but it's just very drying, not juicy, not malty, something that you expect Stone IPAs to be. This isn't that. And that's what they're known for. They're known for doing weird experimental stuff at a very large quantity, because if they mess up, they're like, screw it, we're distributing out,
Send it anyway.
Send it anyways.
Yep.
So I like that about them, but I think this is a swing and the miss.
Yeah, and there's some debate going on about the age of whiskey in the chat right now. Scotty says, now I remember, no age minimum for being called a bourbon, at least 2 years to be called a straight bourbon. Yes, and I get confused on that oftentimes as well, because usually there's an age requirement for a lot of spirits in the U.S., and bourbon is one of those that you can call it a bourbon even if it's been aged for 60 seconds, a la Pabst Blue Ribbon whiskey. But to be called a straight bourbon, it has to be aged at least 2 years and must be anything under 4 years must have an age statement on the bottle. So most bourbons that you buy in the States are aged 4 years and a day.
Yes.
Sybil says, subscribe for the hops up skirt.
I know. I'm now reading everything. It's great.
Oh, God.
I don't know why I promote this, because I just get beat the heck up.
I know. It's so great. Anyway, that's pretty much all we had for news today. So we're 13 minutes into the second hour. The floor is yours. If there's anything you want to talk about, anything you want us to talk about, any questions you have, comments, concerns, super chats. They're all welcome. Super chats jump to the front of the line. That's all I'll say.
I got nothing. I drew a blank. Now,
seriously, this is just delicious, though. Like, it's an old fashioned and it's tropical.
So interesting thing, or semi-interesting thing. Sunday, I had a phone call from my brother, not Steve, my other one, the one who lives in Colorado, David.
Oh, David. Okay.
And
I've never met David in person.
Yeah, you've never met him in person. So he was like, yeah, I always want to talk. He was possibly inebriated because it's like, everyone went to bed. I want to talk. And so, yeah, it ended up being a very fun conversation because of that. But one of the things he brought up, I laughed so hard about it. We were talking about whiskeys and bourbons.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he found the greatest cheap cocktail bourbon out there. And he's like, I gotta tell you about it. I gotta tell you about it. It's so good.
I'm intrigued because you know me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, that's how I started the conversation. Or I was like, oh, I'm my interest is piqued because I know someone who likes bourbon and cocktails, and I kind of have his ear, so it's like, okay, I can.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
I'm intrigued.
Cool. I'm intrigued.
Keep going.
Let's keep going.
I'm not shutting you down yet.
And then he talks to me before he tells me it. He goes into the story of and my next door neighbor. He's a real bourbon aficionado, and then I took him this stuff, and he took a little taste of it, and he's like, "That's actually really good." And he's like, "Yeah, it's only." He said he paid $14 for it, which then he told me what it was, and he told me that it was Benchmark. And I was like,
number 8.
I was like, that's the worst thing ever because I've had that. I was like, this is the crap. I think it's $11 here, and I was like, wow, you overpaid for it for one.
You know what's amazing is it gets listed time and time again as like a great budget introduction to whiskey because it's a Buffalo Trace whiskey. And so Buffalo Trace is very well known for their $22 bourbon, you know, their staple bourbon. Benchmark number 8 is a Buffalo Trace whiskey. It's distilled by Buffalo Trace. And I think there's some clout that comes with that. They say, oh, I really like Buffalo Trace. This is like 70% of the way there, so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't deserve to be on the same shelf as other $14 whiskeys, and I know that's a really low bar.
Yeah, no, that's a horror. I just laughed so hard. He's like, yeah,
I gave that bottle to Rhett.
Yeah, well, it was just so funny because he's like, yeah, you've never heard of it or anything like that. I was like, oh no, we actually took it. And it was so cheap and so crappy.
It was so bad, I put it in a PC.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's like, no, that stuff's good. It's like, no, it's horrible.
But no, now far be it from me to blast anyone else's tastes because I know taste is a subjective thing.
Yes.
But as far as a whiskey, you could do so much better for $14.
Oh, I know. Well, then what got me was like he kept saying that. Oh yeah, his neighbor, he was an aficionado. I was like, yeah, I don't trust his palate. If that's what you think is...
So apparently, Allie is Drake's wife from the Discord. Drake from the Discord.
Oh, really?
So he says, disregard anything that she says.
Oh.
She's the one that says we were already pretty enough.
Ah.
Keep your eye on her, Drake. Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I just
That's funny.
Yeah, I found that funny that he mentioned that particular whiskey bourbon. And I was just like, oh, that was the worst thing. I remember Jeff purposely buying it because it was like the cheapest thing he could find.
It was the cheapest thing in a square bottle.
Yeah.
And the label looked right. The label said, I'm a whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't buy the cheapest whiskey that I could find. I bought the cheapest one that looked right. And that one had the right look of a label.
Yeah,
it wasn't until I got home, I realized it was McAfee's Benchmark.
Yeah.
Which was freaking perfect for what I was going to do to it.
Well, yeah, and then he didn't know what that, like, computers and benchmark, how that terminology can coincide. Yeah. And so he didn't know. Like, why would you do that? I was like, oh, because the name. Mm-hmm. So it was an all-out laugh. Just because also at the same time too, although he was mocking some Johnny Walker Red Label. I was like, nothing's wrong with Johnny Walker Red Label.
I like Johnny Red.
Yeah,
I'll drink that.
I'll drink a Johnny Walker Red on a cheap label or a cheap price. No problem there. He was mocking that, and I was like, okay, you're either really drunk or something is off with your taste buds.
Allie says, I will not be ignored. Y'all may be pretty, but I'm pretty too. I don't know. Drake's never talked about you in the Discord.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he's trying to keep him for herself.
That's right. ID Prom says, I need your old-fashioned recipe, good sir. My old-fashioned recipe is a 100% rye, 3 ounces of a 100% rye, 3/4 ounces of a Demerara syrup. So I actually buy Demerara cane sugar, and I will make my own Demerara syrup with it. And then 3-ish dashes of Angostura, or even better, I have a... you probably can't get this where you are, but this company, the Bitter Housewife, that makes
The
these
local
bitters
place,
right here.
yeah.
It's a local place. This is in Portland, and they make amazing bitters. Bitter Housewife, their standard bitters are just freaking insane in an old fashioned. But literally just those 3 ingredients, stir them together over a big rock, and serve it. If you
not
want
crystal meth, but
not crystal meth, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the other recipe.
That's the Imperial recipe.
Yep. Imperial recipe. But just stir those over a big rock and enjoy. And if you'd like, add a Luxardo cherry on top. And even better is if you take a little bit of an orange swath, squeeze it over the top. So just a little bit of an orange peel and take some of the juices, shoot them onto it. That's an old fashioned. Yep. And it's one of the best cocktails you can make, and it's so flippin' simple.
No, old fashions are probably my number one cocktail, and a sign I think of a good bartender is an old fashioned.
Can you make me an old fashioned? Can you take 3 ingredients and make them good consistently?
Yes, exactly. I have gone to so many bars, and that's usually my one drink, and I just back off. I'm like, I want to see what you're going to make me now, and I will say 9 times out of 10. I usually get like seltzer water added or something like that. I'm like, okay. You don't know what you're doing, but that's fine. You know, I didn't specify. And again, these are more dive bars though.
Yes.
Now I'm not going. Now I know half the time if I go to say downtown Portland, downtown Salem, the particular bar that you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I order old fashioned. I know exactly what I'm going to get.
And oh God, they nail it.
And they nail it. And the thing is though, usually for those, you'll notice the price difference. They're about $3 more.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. One is a sipping cocktail where you just sit back and enjoy every last drink of it. Where the cheap ones you get at dive bars.
I may have just destroyed a marriage. I apologize. Allie says he has never looked so ratted out in his life. And Drake says, hey, come on now, man. Hey, Allie, what's your... literally, have Drake send me what your email address is. I'll give Drake a... tell you what, I will send Drake an invite so you can join the Discord.
Okay.
I feel that's only fair.
Just start charging him double.
That's right. So Drake, I will DM you an invite for Allie so she can get into the Discord so you can see how cool we are.
Yes.
And yeah, ID Prom says, wait, rye or bourbon? Rye.
Rye.
I prefer 100% rye in my old fashioned, and the reason is it tends to be a little bit
spicier, bitter,
peppery, spicier. Yeah. And it balances much better, especially when you get a heavy syrup in it, like a Demerara syrup. It balances so much better than a bourbon because a bourbon is a corn derivative and is already inherently fairly sweet. And so if you get some rye in there and then you add sugar on top of it, it really balances out well.
Yeah.
John, you okay?
Oh yeah. I'm just down here. That's Buffalo Trace. I'm going for some stuff.
John?
No, but yeah, no, it was no, I think even if you're gonna start off, just go with like bullet rye.
Shit.
Gee, well we're past the time. Did you spill it?
I just dropped my cocktail all over my lap.
Who's the drunk one now? But no, bullet rye, like 95. This is a great old fashioned to start off with. Even though it isn't whiskey, but it is a great rye for an old fashioned.
I hit the microphone stand coming up, and it literally just jumped it out of my hand.
Oh, how much you lose?
Uh,
Oh, wow. A lot.
yeah, a good chunk of it. I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it now.
Well,
Yeah, Becky Poo needs something to do with to do girl stuff with in the Discord.
yeah. Well, Jeff might be pantsless in this episode. You might just see him like drain his shorts into his
That's
glass.
right. I'm gonna ring these out because that was some expensive liquor. Let me tell you. Wow. I've never done that on camera before. Well, I've spilled one beer on camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there was a beer you spilled on camera and you posted it.
Yeah, I did. I guess Jeff is making another old fashioned now. You're damn right I'm making another old fashioned.
I know. Well, that's fine because I need another beer because mine was only 12 ounce.
Okay. Well, tell you what, I'm going to give you the floor real quick, and I may actually go change. Because this is really cold.
Ah, everyone wants to know that you're not wearing shorts. Just
Yeah.
you know. No, that's fine.
This is really cold. So I'm going to give you the floor if you don't mind.
No, I'll take it. No one's really talking about. Yeah, there goes bye old fashioned.
Yeah. Well, you got the chat up, so
I got chat up so people in chat can hang out there. I need like Jason or something to show up, right? I need a co-host. And so yeah, if you have any
yeah, it's not as easy as it looks, is it?
No, it's not. Well, they're talking liquor. You go.
All right, I'll be back.
All right. Yeah, because we're talking liquor here, and I know a little bit about liquor, but like I probably know about as much as Rhett does, maybe just a hair more than him, but Steve knows more than me. Oh, there it is. Civil posted a picture of Jeff just about to spill his drink. So again, if you're part of the Discord, it's fun because we get to see all these little moments, and we just rip on each other so much on the Discord. Wait, did he even make me full screen? Oh, hang on. Oh, well, this isn't good. Be back. No one tell Jeff this. There we go. No one tell Jeff that. It wasn't that hard to smuggle Jeff's brick panel. I had to trade him that beer for it, and it's a pretty easy trade. The best part about this brick panel is I didn't have to paint it white, and I didn't have to fix it up or anything like another particular channel that has brick in their background. Whiskey or Coke. As far as Julian in Trailer Park, it was rum and Coke. I believe he even stated it was rum and Coke all the time because he always asked for a rum and Coke. Dark hops, yes. I haven't figured out the issue with my particular camera. Every time I plug it into USB power, it automatically switches over to, oh, I'm trying to connect USB video to my computer instead of HDMI mini or micro. And so I can't charge it. So I'm running off of batteries. So luckily I have multiple batteries, and each battery lasts about roughly an hour. So it works for this show. Technical difficulties, yes. Shots fired. I don't remember which rum he had. Straight. So Buffalo Trace is straight bourbon whiskey. So interesting. Oh, this is the green label. So this isn't aged that long. But it's still good. Yeah, we got Skull. So yeah, I have a cam link, and that's why the video quality is so much better. But every time I do a USB power, it freaks out and thinks it's going to go through USB for some reason, and it always displays that as my display. It's really dumb. So I do. So Richard asked if I wear kilts. So that I did a William Wallace costume once for a Halloween party, and I went 100% realistic, just like they did in the movies, flashing and all. And it wasn't really just the old school kilt. Well, it's more like a dress. It was basically an old kilt back then. Was just a long piece of cloth that was wrapped around. So I learned to do that. That was interesting. I even had a friend of mine who's Irish or Scottish, and she even told me what colors to wear. So that was fun. Oh, sorry. All right. You got your cocktail? Oh, did you change your shirt too?
I did. It was bad. It was bad.
Although I will say, if I spilled something on right now, it would feel really good because I'm in my garage and it is blistering hot.
I can imagine. I filmed in my garage before. Although
Yeah.
I filmed in August in my garage.
So I am not looking forward to. I'm really hoping we're back in your studio by that time.
Yeah, no kidding. So I did film one episode of Craft Computing ever in my garage, and I swore never again because I moved out of John's studio when my lease expired, and moved everything home. Now, well, I'll just set up a studio in my garage. That makes total sense, right?
Yeah.
So I cleaned my garage. I set up some desks. I did everything else. And the day that I did it, I think it was 98 degrees in my garage. And so I'm literally like doing like 3 sentences on camera and then stopping the record, going inside, like drinking ice water and like
wiping the
my
sweat
face
off.
yeah, and then go out and then do the next 3 sentences and
yeah. Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah, I mean the studio looked nice. It was like, oh, this is really cool. You got your shop tools and everything like that. It kind of looked like what's their faces? Oh gosh. Anyways, someone else's YouTube channel. But yeah. But yeah, no, filming in
So anyway,
garage.
I'm gonna make myself an old fashioned.
So you all right? So go ahead and do that. You switch over to what you won't see is that my battery did not die while you were gone. And there was someone always on screen for a time.
John.
We didn't have downtime, Jeff. I blame you. Your poor lack of handling.
What's worse, the wet clothes or the emotional wounds of losing the drink? Definitely the emotional wounds. I can deal with being a little bit wet, but that was a really good old fashioned. All right, John, you have it for about another 20 seconds.
I gotta be up for another 20 seconds. Okay, what's worse, the wet clothes? Yeah, you already answered that question, guys. Have you heard what t-shirt contest? Well, I tried to encourage Jeff for a wet shorts contest, but underneath, but he didn't go for it. So, are we? Yeah, no, we're not in prime time yet, so I gotta be quiet. Okay. But yes, Civil is correct. Picks on Discord are only $1 minimum to enjoy. Trust me, there are some pretty good memes made of us recently now, especially from the past 2 episodes of Talking Heads. People seem to really start doing some screen capturing of us.
I appreciate the hide your wife.
Yeah.
Oh God, someone caught the moment when they dropped the
Yep.
I wasn't sure if it was up on camera or not. I knew it was close. Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, it seems everything we even say turns into like memes or something on the Discord.
I know. How did you explain your wet pants to the producer? I said I just made a party foul of epic proportions. And she goes, did you spill a beer all over yourself? And I said, no, a cocktail. She goes, oh.
I just wet myself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a long show. What can I say? All right. So I figured
To
You gonna make something
appease
different?
to appease myself to the liquor gods, I'm gonna do some Bullet Rye 12
Okay.
in an old fashioned.
There you go.
So
All right. While you make that, you can shrink me down, and I'm gonna go grab another 12-ounce can.
all right. So
Oh,
3 ounces.
there's a picture of me as Santa Claus in Discord. Drunk Santa.
Oh, I've seen that one. So as I said, 3 ounces of a 100% rye, or as close as you can get to it. I really like a Bullet 12 or a Bullet 95 for this one. I've actually not tried the Bullet 12 year in an old fashioned, so I'm kind of looking forward to this. And then 3/4 ounce of a Demerara syrup. That's what it looks like. That's the bottom of my bottle. It's a very, very dark syrup. Three-quarter ounce. And then 3 or 4 dashes of an Angostura. That's about it. You can drink this drink just as is. You can add an orange swath to it. You can top it with a Luxardo cherry. Please don't use those neon red cherries. Those are horrible. You shouldn't be muddling anything in an old fashioned. You shouldn't be using crushed ice. You shouldn't be adding club soda. You shouldn't be doing anything like that. It should look exactly like that.
Perfect timing, John.
Ah, there we go. Oh, it's me
We're
as
back.
the Marshmallow Stay Puft Man from Ghostbusters, and Steve as Walter White. All right, you got your drink?
I did.
I am going to go with a.
Delicious, by the way.
I will say I do enjoy your old fashions. They are fantastic. They are quite fun, tasty, I should say. But I'm going to go with the dragon themes, continuing with it. But Dragon's Breath, a dark Hefeweizen.
Ooh.
So, which I actually think is more of.
I do like me a Dunkel half.
Yeah, I think it's more of a Dunkelhalf. Now, hey, I gave you that coconut Hefeweizen. Did you ever open it?
I haven't opened that one yet. I'm probably going to do that one on a video here.
Okay.
Because I'm curious.
Again, I think it was a good hef. I don't think it had any coconut flavor, though.
Right. Yeah, I will certainly try to find some.
There's another picture of me as Cobra Commander.
John's had some pretty good Halloween costumes, although he did reuse the one he used last year on the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did one. I was really lazy because I was like, I totally forgot, and I took it was first. I think it was
Sybil says, "LOL, I'm sensing a theme of John covering his face."
No, there's I went as there we go. Oh, there's me as usually if I cover my face, it's usually off within 10-15 minutes because it's just so hot. It's just for pictures.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a picture of Steve with his epic Indiana Jones image. No, I put him over there. My wife's asking me for her keys. They're by the front door. Oh. I was so lazy. I had no costume ideas. So I went to the bank, got $10.
So you put a chainsaw on your arm?
No, this is even cheaper. I went to the bank, got $10 in nickels, a cheap t-shirt, and a hot glue gun. And I glued nickels all on my back.
Mm-hmm.
Nickelback.
The Chad Kroger special.
What I didn't think about was that all of the weight was pulling my shirt like this and like choking me the whole night.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
you could have done that with one nickel, right?
It's not as cool. I still have the shirt.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I was like, hey,
That's awesome.
if I need $10, I got $10 right here.
What do you give me for this? $7 because I need to get the nickels off of there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did a couple good. I came as the man with no name. from The
Mhm.
Good, the Bad, the Ugly. All the Clint Eastwood. I did that one. I did Braveheart. I did. So those are all ones without a face mask. There's a couple. I did a troll, a wishing troll. If you remember the old '90s dolls.
Yeah.
I did that without a shirt. So
I'm gonna ask how you did the gem in your belly button.
it was. I did have a gem in the belly button. It was, again, back in the old like Hot Topic early 2000s, where belly rings and stuff like that were super popular. They had a flashing light belly light that you would put for like belly dancers, and so I put that in there, and it was a strobe light. That was basically, yeah. Oh, I did again, but covering my face. But I was really proud of this because I also did it in a picture. Grim Fandango. I did Manny Calavera.
Oh, nice.
So I did that. That was fun. I even built my own scythe for that, an oversized one. It wasn't collapsible. I wish it was collapsible. It wasn't. That was hard to get the Grim Reaper like heading because you had to really extend it.
Yeah.
I did a couple Comic-Con, or the Comic-Con ones ago. I did a couple of those, again, hiding my face though, but I came as morning stormtrooper or clones trooper. So I woke up with a robe, a coffee cup, and like some boxers.
Mhm.
I actually went on stage with that for a costume contest for the Portland City Comic-Con and Rose City Comic-Con. And then another year I came as the Office boss, but as Darth Vader. I forget what his name was, where he's holding the coffee.
Yeah. Oh, I did see that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I came as that. And the best part, I commit to all of the characters. So like we'll be walking downtown or to lunch. I do not take the mask off during Comic-Con. I do not take anything off, and I just play it straight the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think people found that fun. The recreation. So Drake was asking for a recreation of the Manny Calavera. I already did that for a video, actually. If you look at some of my old thumbnail, or a thumbnail I did, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago for a Stone Brewery. They did a Mexican lager. I wore the Manny Calavera mask.
I do remember that
for my thumbnail. Yep. So
Drake just sent you an invite for Allie so she can get on the Discord.
There we go.
See, $1 is good for 2 person. So get you both in.
Literally 2 for 1.
2 for 1. That's right.
Any other questions, or are we just talking costumes again?
John doing Rick from Rick and Morty next. I've considered doing Rick. I've thought about doing that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
John,
know
will you be my Morty?
No. So no.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Oh, geez, Rick. No. No. There was one year I thought
that's right.
about,
You're more a Jerry.
I'd rather be Jerry. I'd rather be Squanchy. Squanch! Is there any place I can squanch here? Or like Birdman. Birdman would be fun. God, that'd be actually pretty fun. I wanted to come one year as Venture Brothers, the Monarch. The Monarch! I thought that would be such a fun costume to do. That would be such a hard one to do, especially if you get like the big butterflies going and the big eyebrows. But I've seen a couple costumes. It was fun. Oh yeah, so then
I kind of want to do a Rick with the snake episode with like 2 or 3 like astronaut snakes hanging off my arm.
The snake jazz playing. Yeah. Well, I came as
it's snake jazz, and it's so my jam right now.
Yeah, I came. So like every time I did a costume too, I always had like my cell phone or some kind of button to play like music or sound. So like Steve posted me as the man with no name. I did that. You know, that music. Mm-hmm. I came as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I had the karaoke version of Ghostbusters, like playing in my pocket. I could sit there and hit it and go. So I always try to do stuff like that too. It was always really fun. Yeah, exactly. Ghostbusters.
Sorry to take away your only hiding place, Drake. Have we seen Solar Opposites yet? I actually haven't been able to catch an episode yet.
So I saw it, and it is very, it's very Rick and Morty, very similar to how, say, Family Guy and American Dad or the Cleveland Show. So you're like, oh, I get it, and I see the similarities, and I see
this is a Seth MacFarlane cartoon.
There's a Seth MacFarlane, and so this is a, I don't remember the names of the two creators or the parts that are off of Rick and Morty.
Justin Roiland and
the voice guy.
But yeah, no, this one's Justin Roiland.
Yeah,
it's not the other guy.
But so you definitely see that. It, to me, came off more of a very not Cleveland Show, but very American Dad.
Okay.
So it's like, oh,
that's high praise considering how long Cleveland Show lasted.
There are gems in it, and there's some funny stuff, but like right away it just goes right into it, and it's almost like it just some of the voices too are just too similar to Rick and Morty is the problem. It's just like, oh, you're playing Rick. You're playing an alien version of Rick, but you're not Rick. Yeah.
I hate to call out voice actors because it is such a difficult job, but there are some voice actors who really are one-trick ponies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, with Rick and Morty, it's okay because he does two, and then like all the background characters, but all the background characters sound the same, but there's a little bit of humor in that.
But he does Rick and he does Morty, and they are so different from each other that it's like, yeah, you can totally get away with that.
I can totally, but then when you take those three, the Rick, the Morty, and then the background characters, which are all sounding the same, and then you implement that into a whole new show, and you barely change, you're like, oh, I went a little deeper. No, we still hear Rick, Morty, and the background characters. We know which characters you're playing, and we just constantly automatically think Rick and Morty. That was my only downside to this. There are some really good episodes. I think it's only an 8 or 9 episode season, and actually there's one really, really good episode that actually has nothing to do with the aliens, and I think it's the best. So one of the premises is the two kids, which are actually clones of themselves, will, if they don't get along with humans, they'll shrink them, and then they put them in their giant wall gerbil cage, which are different levels. So it's almost like Snowpiercer, like the different levels are different classes. And is
that just putting Klaus into a different body?
Yeah, it really is. But there's one whole episode where it's just dedicated to that part. So it's like almost a Snowpiercer in 30 minutes. And that's probably the best episode in the whole season, which has nothing. And then you see in the background, because it's a gerbil wall, them doing stuff in the background. And like, oh, that makes it even more entertaining. And because of that, it's like, oh, this is super funny. This is great. Everything else is just Rick and Morty ripoffs.
Yeah.
And it's family again. Like I said, it felt more like first season of American Dad. I was like, oh, this is just Seth MacFarlane. And American Dad, it takes time to develop itself.
It took a year. They found their own voice, and they really ran with it. And I think they did quite well until Seth MacFarlane stepped away again from. And you can tell whenever he steps away, and only does the voices and is not a creative voice in the writing room anymore.
Yeah.
Because seasons 1 through 3 of Family Guy are amazingly good, and then season 4, when they came back from, what was that, a 6-year hiatus? Is just terrible. And then all of a sudden, for like 2 seasons, it's pretty good. Like 5 and 6 were pretty good, and then it went right back to where it was with like, what in the heck is this?
Yeah, it was just how raunchy can we get away with?
How raunchy can we get away with? And the characters are simply a device to tell a joke instead of a character actually telling a joke.
Yes, exactly.
And I've said that so many times especially with animation, you have to still be true to your characters. And I've seen so many times, you look at the reboot of Futurama, you look at the reboot of Family Guy, you look at Cleveland Show, you look at the later episodes of American Dad.
Yeah.
They stop being true to the characters. The characters are simply different voices to tell the same joke and the same raunchy joke.
Yeah, I know.
And
I mean, you can't.
And it stops being funny.
Yeah, I mean, there are even points where they even try to make fun of themselves and they fall flat. Like Family Guy will even make fun of themselves of, oh, we do too many flashbacks or whatever. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's great. And it's
too
true.
many flashbacks. Remember that time when...
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, okay, it was funny because when they originally did it, like you're saying, in season 1 through 3, and a couple other, 5, 6, it made kind of sense to the joke, and it wasn't every episode they did a flashback, or 5 times an episode they did a flashback. Now it's, hey, I got a great joke, has nothing to do with the story.
Yeah.
How do we implement this? Oh, flashback. There we go. Or you remember that time? And that. Do
you remember the time that Family Guy reused a joke? There was a joke in the pilot, and then they reused the same joke, animated the same way in a later episode.
I don't. I stopped watching Family Guy.
Yeah.
So.
But no, season 1 and season 2 literally have the same joke. It's Peter drinking wine at communion, and he spits it out, and he goes, "Holy crap! Is that really the blood of Christ?"
Right. That's a great
No, they
joke.
used that joke twice.
That's a great joke, though.
That guy must have been wasted 24 hours a day, huh?
Did they use that in like the Fonz episode too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But it was in the pilot episode too, and they reused it.
But it's a great like that. Okay, it's a good joke because it was funny the way it was used. But then they just constantly, you remember that time I was the chin of so and so. Like, that's just stupid. Come on, that's just lazy writing. And I think a lot of TV shows, again, too, it's really hard to stay current and fresh a lot of the times. South Park has been known to do that. There's been a couple seasons like this isn't.
They get flat. They really do get flat from time to time.
And then there's a gem, and then and I think they realize that, and then the next season they come back and it's like, oh, they corrected their ways.
The Return of the Lord of the Rings to the Two Towers video store.
Oh, that was.
Come on, how good is that one?
Yeah, right. There's some really good gems in there, and I'll love watching South Park. I'll love Rick and Morty. I think I would probably watch Futurama more than American Dad reruns.
Yeah,
just because I think there were more continuous solid seasons of that.
Yep.
I even feel that way like early Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like the first probably like 10 seasons of Simpsons I think are really great. But then after that it starts really falling super flat. And even I love the episode of South Park where like, oh, Simpsons did it, and everyone else did it. It's like I love that they'll make that kind of contrast. So I don't know. What's going on?
Then Rick and Morty went South Park did this 4 years ago. Wow, they're fast. Either that or we're slow.
And I think that's the cool part about Rick and Morty is they kind of almost sit there and are breaking fourth wall, but not blatantly. They say it so quick, so fast.
They do say it so quick, but they blatantly break the fourth wall, and I love when they do it.
Yeah, but they say it so fast, like
Rick dies, and they go, Project Phoenix activated, and he goes, didn't I shut this down 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the best part is that it's so fast, so quick that you don't recognize it. You have to watch it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, there's so many little things in the background. Now, I will state that about what was the show we were talking about? Solar Opposites.
Solar Opposites.
Yeah. I then watched, there was a promotional video that they did of it. And then they started pointing out all the little things of, hey, did you notice this? Did you see this? Did you recognize this? I didn't notice that because, I'm just watching it and casually paying attention. Usually there's like either a cocktail or a beer in my hand and it's late at night, or I'm watching it kind of from the side. I'm not really super paying attention to it. I might go back and watch it one more time. I think it is worth if you're going to watch it, you like Rick and Morty, you like that type of humor, give it a good watch. You might even want to watch it two seasons. It's not super long, so you might almost want to give it 2 tries.
Yeah.
Ooh. So.
Yep. I got pretty into the first season of Disenchanted. I don't know if you did. The new Jeff Groening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Netflix one.
Yeah.
So I tried watching.
I haven't watched
1.
any of season 2. I did get pretty into season 1 though.
I just couldn't get past like episode 2 of season 1, and it was just I don't know. I'm again Simpsons and Futurama. I was like, oh, and I came back a couple months later. I was like, I really want to give this another try.
Yeah.
And then just so many things just came up over it. I still want to give it a shot. I still want to give it a try.
Yeah.
I heard much better things about season 2 versus season 1.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard as well. And so I want to get back into it and actually walk through it properly. But you hear that Groening is involved, and this is like something he's wanted to do for a while, and you go, oh well, Simpsons Futurama, obviously let's go back in the past and let's do something like that. And but then I hear what is obviously voices that I've heard on Simpsons and Family Guy before, or Simpsons and Futurama before.
Yeah. They're like it's the same characters.
Yeah, because the king is John DiMaggio. It's Bender.
Yeah, it's Bender.
It's a little bit New Yorkified Bender.
Yeah, it's Bender plus what is that? Not modern times, Adventure Times. Because he does the dog.
Yeah, it's Bender mixed with Jake.
Yeah, it's Bender mixed with, that's what it is. And you're
and you can't unhear it.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like, oh, these are good jokes, these are good liners, but it's like, that's not the person I want to hear it. The face I want to hear it coming out of. Right. I would almost love, it'd be awesome, is if they did a crossover Futurama episode to where they traveled back in time to that. Yeah. And Bender was or just did a quick thing, or like the mage somehow
is great.
So the mage like somehow summoned this thing from the past, or wizard, and it was Bender. And I was like, oh, that's boom! I would love that probably episode of that joke. I think it would so work in that realm. Especially Lord, I forget what his version was in when they did that the fantasy one, the Dungeons and Dragons episode.
Yeah. Well, that was a whole movie.
Whole movie, yeah.
Yeah, that was a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, I didn't care for those. Those were
Into the Wild Green Yonder was pretty good. I'll say that one.
There was the Beast with the Billion Backs.
Beast with a Billion Backs. There was Into the Wild Green Yonder.
And then
there was the Dungeons and Dragons spoof.
And then Bender's Big Score.
Bender's Big Score.
Yeah. What was the plot of? Was that the time traveling one? No, Bender's Big Score was the time traveling one.
Yeah, Bender's Big Score was the time traveling because he read the tattoo on Fry's back.
But yeah,
butt, as it were.
Yeah.
101. Guys, you'll never guess where I've been.
And even like you were saying, within each one of those, but each one's like an hour and a half. It's a 3-episode movie, essentially what they broke them down to make a single season. There are good jokes within each one of those. Mm-hmm. As an episode by episode, no, you can't watch them by themselves. But there are some really good jokes within there. But most of them just kind of almost reference previous episodes. And you're just like, you're just playing on the nostalgia. You're not being creative. You're just playing on the nostalgia of all the fanboys. And I get it too, because those movies were made, like 7-8 years after the show got canceled.
Yeah, it was made right in between the cancellation of the show and the renewal. Wild Green Yonder was 2009. I'm looking it up now. So,
and when did
feature-length spectacular?
When did Futurama get canceled though? The first
time? Was that 2004?
Yeah, so
I want to say
4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
something like that. Because it was so. We got anything in chat? I know we're what's so surprising is we're not talking Star Trek.
I know. It's 9:58.
And
I even brought up Star Trek earlier in the show and you didn't take the bait. That's what I thought was amazing.
I don't even remember you doing that. Mm-hmm. What did you say? All right, so hey, out of curiosity, let's go to Star Trek. Curious though.
Okay.
Have you seen the announcement for, and I don't remember what it was called now, but the Captain Pike series?
No, I haven't.
So they are doing, so off of the Discovery, there was season 2, they had Captain Pike on that.
Yep.
And they officially announced, and I forget what it was called because they actually named it, because I think they were going to call it Star Trek Enterprise was one of the working titles. I was like, that's already been taken. But
you can't do that one because that was Captain Archer of the NX-01.
So, but it is going to be a series of Captain Pike with the Enterprise with Spock, and there is supposed to be a Kirk character in that.
How are they going to play that one off?
I don't know. So it's supposed to be a young Kirk, or a young like ensign coming up Kirk, Captain Pike, and Spock, and their adventures on the OG Enterprise.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about this. As long I
don't know how I feel about this because this is also muddling timelines again. Because remember, we rebooted Star Trek in 2009, and Kirk jumped directly from the Academy to literally captain of the flagship. That's another issue altogether.
Well, that's an alternate. That's the J.J. Abrams.
Cadets, board your ship. Captain Kirk, will you take the con?
Well, that's a J.J. Abrams timeline, though. So this is because this is supposed to still be the original timeline.
Right.
So this is supposed to explain because, and again, I think this is more like the pilot, the original pilot, where it is Captain Pike, and they even do reference that in Star Trek Discovery season 2. Which is kind of cool because they do a whole episode on a flashback of the pilot episode of meeting I forget what the aliens, but with the big brains and everything like that. So that was actually probably the best episode of season 2, in my opinion. And then there was another church episode that was a really good because they were standalone. Everything else then was all about the stupid Red Angel. Also, it's so dumb. Don't even get me talking. I don't want to talk about it anymore. God, Discovery. It's horrible.
Yep.
I just hope, and this might be my only other problem with Picard. I wish it'd be a bit more episodic or multiple adventures. You know, two episodes a story. Give it that. Do an 8 episode season and give me 4 stories. I would really more enjoy that than one long, gigantic 7.5 hour movie, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was my only issue with Picard was, again, we talked about it a couple episodes back, and I got to finish it. And then I kind of started going back and digging into, like, what did they originally pitch this? And they originally pitched it as a character development of Picard and how he was. And I don't really agree with that anymore. I don't think they did what they were selling to the audience, to the fanboys and everything like that. To some extent, sure, but not as much.
Yeah. It kind of landed halfway between servicing the fanboys and halfway between telling a brand new story. And I think I'm in agreement with you. I think they drug it out a little bit too much. I could have done with 6 episodes, not 10. Or I could have done with, let's do 6 episodes to tell this main story and then 4 episodes to tell another. I could have done that, but it was too drawn out, and there was too much in between the story moving forward.
Yeah, I would have loved, because I think we talked about there were too many slow paced episodes to where 3 episodes probably could have been condensed into 1, and with good editing, but for some reason they needed to hit that 10 episode story arc. And I was like, no, this story actually would have made so much more sense if you just did it in 7 or 8. And I would have even more appreciated a bit more, maybe 1 or 2 individual. Now I know with that story that they were going with, it's very hard to do an individual character story with it.
Right.
Because they're basically from day one on a mission to do something, because Data's daughter 1.0 died episode 1.
Yeah.
And so, you're on a mission right away. There's no way you can deviate off it. And they almost seem to try with like the whole half an episode of Raffi's son, and they're like, oh, let's divert a story over here really quick for a half episode.
Right.
That's stupid. Cut that whole thing out. That's stupid. Because
and I said I could have totally done without that whole sequence because they didn't do anything with it. They introduced Raffi's son, and, they did nothing else with it.
They did nothing else with it, and then at the very end of the season, Raffi's a lesbian.
Yeah, right.
Or at least she's chummy with 7 of 9 for some reason.
And apparently Chakotay forced 7 that way.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. Apparently he's not a Klingon. So, or at least Riker.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see what season 2 leads up to. I did find out though that Patrick Stewart didn't know he was the last episode. He had no idea how that was going to play out. He just knew the basic story and was really intrigued about the basic story, but didn't know till like the day of shooting that he was essentially going to be resurrected as this. Spoiler right here. He dies and gets resurrected as a golem. I did a little pause there for people.
I will say, I call BS on the whole writer's take on episode 10, in that they said it was always the plan for Patrick Stewart to die and be resurrected. No, it was not.
No, it was.
He got renewed for season 2, and so he lived.
Yeah, no,
they were going to kill him off in a glorious fashion, saving the galaxy essentially, and given a martyr's goodbye, or you were going to resurrect him, and we got a season 2. That was the plan from the beginning. Don't BS me. I'm smarter than you. Yeah,
exactly. They really played on to the whole like fans, the new fans. That almost seemed like a new fan service of like, oh, the new fans caught on, they like this, and we can't kill Picard. And again, too, even the two of us, and we're not even writers or any of, we're just good Star Trek fans. Are like, there were better ways to resurrect him, better stories for season 2. I mean, again, the one story that you and I both agreed, Q snaps.
Yep.
That's the dream, or he brings
never really ended Picard.
Exactly, and then that's like, how do you not
itself, for God's sake?
How do you not write that? And then you're like, oh, and they already asked before this season even premiered. They asked Whoopi Goldberg to come back.
Yeah,
and you're like, this is leading to a Q thing. Q has to be
there.
Has to be there.
If he's not, you're doing TNG a disservice.
Yeah, now he did.
He was the main antagonist of
episode 1 and episode 1 and the very last episode.
Yeah,
he's the antagonist, and that ended
episode
perfect.
1, episode 151. He's still there.
Yeah, exactly. So now he said he won't come back because he says he felt he aged too much.
He says he aged too much. I would think it'd be a great slight at Picard. Oh, you're looking so frail in your current state. Here, will this make you feel better?
Exactly.
Like you can explain away anything. Q is a god.
Yes, exactly. You just need to do 30 seconds of de-aging footage, which they probably have somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's Disney or CBS here. They got the money to do it.
They got the money to do it.
They got or the horrible effects. It's fine because they didn't do well. Actually,
give me a Princess Leia. That's all I need.
Yeah, exactly. Heck, I wouldn't even mind him like digitally imposed as something else, and his face is just animated like a statue. Oh, starts haunting Picard.
Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, that I would have liked that. I think that was the fault. And but I am intrigued because back to the Christopher Pike series, they are stating it is supposed to be nothing like, but again, this is them back to stating stuff. That's why I wanted to mention that with Picard. Nothing like Discovery, nothing like Picard. That's all they mentioned.
Right.
And
Picard was nothing like Discovery.
Well, there was, because there was like the battles were just, I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But they weren't typical Star Trek battles. But at the same time, if you think about it, you know, most people, most fanboys, when they complain about Star Trek battles, and this is like your big argument too, like DS9, well, each budget got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so the battles got more complex. And it was more of it was a budgeting issue.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a storytelling issue. It was like, look, we physically can't do this.
We can only afford to put ship in the scene.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Realize how much this costs.
And all of our ships are model based. They're not computer animated. So we can't like have them do barrel rolls and flipping through space. And so it's literally just move, fire phasers, you know, left to right. Where DS9,
are we on XY still, or is there a Z? I'm confused.
Yeah, exactly. And where DS9, they started getting into some animation
Season
later.
4, they got a budget and they went, oh my god, we can go up.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, where spaceships are literally ramming through other ships. The Jem'Hadar are ramming through ships that look like the Enterprise. Yeah.
Just really big Maquis ships.
Yeah, exactly. So they had a budget for it. And
sorry, if you didn't know that plot point. There's a ship that's based off a Maquis Raider that is like a full-size ship that is like a shuttlecraft with nacelles tacked onto the side of it, and the fanboys hate it because it's seen so many times in the background of
yeah. Well, that's I mean,
yeah.
I guess that was actually another little pet peeve of mine in Picard, was when, again, spoiler, Riker shows up at the end.
Yeah.
Every ship is the same ship.
Yes. It's like, really?
I was like, really? Come on.
I've seen the fleet that protected Earth in First Contact.
Yeah.
Like, that should be the fleet.
I wanted Riker to be him when he said, "We have I have the most powerful ship.
I'm sitting on the bridge of the most advanced warship in the Federation fleet." And
every ship around you looks the exact same. Come on, Riker. You know, hell, please. It would have been awesome to have both models of the Enterprise somewhere back there.
Right.
Of like, you
give
know, give me a D&E, you know, in there. That'd be awesome. Even a Defiant would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
In the background.
With Worf still in command.
With Worf still in command of this old little rinkety-dinkety ship back there.
It's a cute little ship, Worf.
You know, or even like, what happened to the digital armor plating that Janeway gave everyone? You know, little things like that kind of annoyed me. But
little Borg tech integrated in, because apparently it's free reign right now.
Right? Yeah. I mean, the Romulans seem to have it, so it's whatever.
Certainly, the Federation does with 7 coming back with all that Borg tech on.
But Borg, you would sit there and think that Borg cubes are just randomly like disintegrating and floating around in space, and so they're just free. So whatever.
So by the way, this is Zeke. This is the stray that we brought in about 2.5 years ago. So he's still cool. Even after a little surgery, he's still cool.
Oh, what happened?
He had a mass removed above his eye. He had a growth that started above his eye that was cancerous.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, and he's only 2.5 years old. Like, we found him at less than 6 weeks old. So, but he's doing great now. John, are you getting another drink?
Well, I wasn't getting a drink, but I was just getting
something to wet your whistle.
Something to wet my whistle, but I was like, I don't have any small glasses.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a shot right there.
Is that only a shot?
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna shoot it.
Looks like a friendly pour. That's a friendly pour.
That's a friendly pour. That's an ounce.
That's a friendly pour.
That's like
that's an I know the owner pour.
Yeah, that's an I know the owner. That's not 2 ounces. That's like 1.75.
Civil says he wants that tropical old fashioned. Yeah, well, so did I, because that was freaking good. As good as this one is, that one was better.
Now you need to go and upscale that to like. So I've always thought of this. I've always wanted to make big batch cocktails, and an old.
I have successfully scaled up mojitos.
No,
And I bet I could do other cocktails as well. Because I have a recipe for a 40-ounce mojito.
Now, could you do a 2-gallon old-fashioned?
Yes, I probably could. Could I drink 2 gallons of old-fashioned in 3 months?
No. 3 months? Oh, yeah, sure. 3 months, sure.
Even that's iffy. That's a lot of old-fashioned.
2 gallons?
Do you know how much whiskey that is?
Well, no, not much, because they come in half gallons. So you'd probably at least get 2 of those. That's 1 gallon. So that you're at a 50% ratio, which is not.
My old-fashioned mix is 90% whiskey. Maybe 3/4 whiskey.
Okay, so we can go 3/4. So let's go 3/4 whiskey.
So am I going to burn through
the thing
2.5 gallons?
Let me ask you this then. Could you make one cheap enough?
It's 3 to 0.75 is what the ratio is.
Could you make it cheap enough? Because yes, you could do it anything, but could you make it like, say, cheap enough? Say if I gave you $50, and then do it, because most of it is the liquor.
Right.
You know, a single bottle of bitters will do that whole entire 2 gallons.
Thereabouts, yeah.
So
I've never popped the top off an Angostura bottle. That feels weird.
Now my only question is, how do you do it because I want to do it without the garnishing.
Right.
So
you would do it without the garnish. Or you would add this is what Courage and Stone did. They added like essence of fruit into their mix. And so their bottles are 80 proof cocktails that already have orange and cherry in them.
Yes. So we would have to do that. I mean, we can do that on my channel because obviously, it's not tech related.
Right.
Even though you're like, I want to do it on mine.
Or on my second channel when I finally start that.
It won't get any views on mine, but I still want to do it.
Right. No, exactly.
And I'll just be called an alcoholic the whole entire time.
You know what irritates me is I put so much time into a couple of recent videos and they hardly got any views. And then I do turn the camera on and what's in my server rack right now? And it's like my #1 video in however long.
That's the thing. It's so weird. There are so many. I mean, I'm nowhere near the size of you, but I still understand that.
Yeah, you still feel it.
I still feel it of like, I put no effort into this, no thought. It literally was like, I woke up. I got to post a video today. Okay, How do I do this? Oh, I'm editing this, and crap, that shot didn't turn out. That shot didn't turn out. Whatever. I don't even like this beer. Let's
just send it.
Just send it. It's my #3 video of my whole channel. It's like, why did that happen?
My 2 most recent videos are my #1 and #2 videos of the last 3 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
My What's in My Home Network after 24 hours had 9,400 views. My Raspberry Pi UniFi tutorial has 17,000.
Oh,
it did 17,000 in 24 hours.
There you go.
Right, like get her done kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because that was such an easy video to film, and it's something I've done a dozen times blindfolded with a hand behind my back.
Yeah.
And yet all of a sudden it's my #1 video since January.
The thing is though, it almost seems like simple stuff. I don't know. Here's what I think it is. I think it's also experts plus novices novices want to know how to do it. Experts want to know, how do you do it?
How did I do it? Right.
And how's it different than how did they do it?
Right.
And I think that's where the views come in, because my #1 again too is nothing again compared to you. I'm a completely different channel, but it is a tutorial video of how to do something, how to clean your glassware. And it is like, this is like something I learned, how to do at the tap room. This is like something you should learn. This is
how you clean glassware at a bar.
How you clean
How is this forbidden knowledge?
And the thing is too, is I did it even in the aspect of, because of what was stupid, I didn't think about it, was I do it as a bar aspect, because I do it as, here's a big sink and this is how you do a lot of glassware. I even shot it that way. And it's still my #1 video of like, it's just climbing, and it's still climbing today, of it's just, here's 2 sinks because how my kitchen is, and it's just like in my bar was, here's 2 sinks and a drying rack. This is how you do it with 800 glassware. Now, is that how you do it at home? No, technically not. But I just shot it that way because my brain was late at night, and I was like, oh, look, I think this would be kind of an interesting video. I'm out of ideas.
I agree with Novella Hub here. John needs a "What's in my beer fridge" video.
Yeah, there's a lot in my beer
Shoot
fridge.
it.
That's a lot of beer.
What's in my beer fridge? I don't care if it's 12 minutes. I'll freaking watch it.
That's a lot. So I will say, I don't know how well this video is going to play because this is more of an experimental, dumb video idea. It'll probably be shot Friday, and I might again join Jeff's Discord. The reason I kind of use Jeff's Discord as he said, my channel is also, I joke a lot about my channel. I take a lot of crap, and I post a lot of fun things, and I think everyone kind of likes that too.
Yeah. John's the tag along on my Discord.
Yeah, I'm like the bonus. I'm the free bonus.
I don't think you're even the second biggest YouTuber on
there. But I'm thinking about spoiling it. No, I won't.
Actually, no. Tom Lawrence Tech joined, so I'm not even the biggest YouTuber on your channel.
There you go. I'm not going to spoil it, but so if you hang out, I think it'll be the Saturday. I'll probably be videoing it, and then you'll see pictures. But it's not going to be actually about the beer. It's going to be about my experience drinking the beer and the facial expressions, because that's what a lot of people seem to like about my channel, is just my honesty and weirdness. Yes. This is purely entertaining video, not beer related. I'm going to do a beer review. I will do a beer review, and an honest beer review. Yeah. I will tell you this: it's going to be extremely painful.
Skull says, "What's in my beer fridge? Part 1 of blank."
Oh, I should do. You know what I should do? I'm going to do what's in my beer fridge. I have
go by brand.
I have 5 shelves. I can do a 5-part video of like what's
on shelf 1.
Yeah. I will state, because of everything that's been going on, we dedicated the bottom shelf to extend the normal refrigerator area.
Yeah, my beer fridge got imposed on as well.
Yeah, so it was like, there's double eggs and double milk and stuff like that. The earlier on essentials that were said to be bad, and I honestly think my wife is trying to permanently leave it there. I'm like, nah, I don't mind your wine.
She devils.
Yeah, I don't mind your wine being in there because it's alcoholic. Sure,
right. Makes sense.
It makes sense. Why are there eggs here? Why is there dairy products in here? I don't need this in here. This is not part of it. And then I started to notice they started creeping up onto shelf number 2.
That's like, how it starts, man.
No.
My fridge in the garage when I started this year was nothing but beer and like mixers like Coke and ginger ale and ginger beer and stuff like that. And all of a sudden it's got like 2 18-packs of eggs and like 3 extra things of butter. And,
Yep. I think I have like 2 packs of eggs,
hot dogs and kielbasa.
Yep, I got I got like 2 gallons of milk. She has some like yogurt stuff in there, and
I have 3 gallons of milk in mine.
We usually have 3 gallons of milk. Today was like we were low, and so I was like, okay, I got 4 things of yogurt. I know there's like at least 2 dozen eggs. The kids' juices in there now.
Yeah, I've got Capri Sun in my beer fridge right now.
Yep, I got Capri Sun. Totally do. I got Capri Sun and grape juice boxes. Those I'll give them. I'll give them that. Okay.
Rudresh says top 100 excuses to day drink. There's you a video.
100 excuses? That's a lot.
Top 100 excuses to day drink.
I really wanted to do shower beer. What is the best shower beer?
And see, I would watch that.
And it is literally, I don't know if I should do it as a series or as like a one video, and it be like a month-long aspect of every day I took a video and here's the best one. Or is it one video, 1 week, okay, I'm only going to drink IPAs in the shower, and here's that video experience.
Here's the best shower IPA. Here's the best shower stout.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's all these ideas of like, I don't know quite how to execute them.
Yeah.
Because I want to get the best out of it, because I think the idea is cool, but at the same time, you know, they're just hard to execute too. Again, I'm nowhere near the size of you, so this is more of like 99% of my videos are shot 11 p.m. You know, at late at night. And there's a reason it's in my garage. It's the furthest away from everyone.
Yeah, my first 15 videos were shot at 11 p.m. or on location at John's Bar.
Yeah.
And they were like something I was doing way outside my extracurricular activity. And I think about episode 9 or so, it's like, okay, this could really be something because I've seen a little bit of early success. And so it started creeping on to like the kid is in bed. I'm going to start shooting at 8 p.m. now. And now it's like Saturdays are mine. I wake up on Saturdays and it's production day.
Yeah.
And so it's weird the progression I go through from like this was like an ancillary thing to all of a sudden it's like it's literally part of my daily life.
Yeah, now it's a job.
Now it's a job, right?
Yeah. So I'm still stuck in the it's cool, it's fun to have this, but you know, I have a day job, I have family, I have obligations to still do. And
Civil says he'll watch the shower beer episode, but you have to be shirtless.
Oh, of course, obviously.
I think that's a given.
That's a given.
I've been shirtless on my channel
it's
before.
Just how do I use the wide angle lens or do I use the tight lens?
I think telephoto would be better for you.
Now, should I do like I can totally do a whole.
What's really funny is I beat you to shower beer.
I know.
You
did beat me. I actually did want to go. I don't remember what video that was. I was like thinking that the other day. I was like, what video was that? I want to go watch that again. I want to watch that ad again.
Yep. Yeah, it was for an ad spot.
So,
but it was still a shower beer, and I was still shirtless in that take.
So if you Civil, if you want to go find some good thumbnails, I'm sure Jeff will not tell you the episode or not episode because there wasn't.
I don't even remember which one it was. It was a while ago.
So it was like what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, something like that.
There is a video of Jeff shirtless. Could be a good thumbnail, could not be. Could be a good new Bite My Bits t-shirt.
I think all you see is like my shoulder forward. You don't actually see me shirtless. But I was in the shower opening a beer.
Yeah.
Let that be known. My wet arm reaches out and grabs a beer and then pulls it into the shower. And then I open the beer and I toss the cap back onto the counter. That was the shot. And I thought it worked to pretty good effect.
Yeah. My only problem is doing I wouldn't mind doing that. No, maybe I'll do because maybe I'll do a beer one. I was gonna contact a couple local breweries because I was in talks with them and they were thinking about, again, I think I said this in my boot live of doing lives. I really would like to get into that. I think that would just be fun too. Just more from my experience of cinematography, because especially doing this has become fun. But like
sorry,
film
I'm being assaulted right now.
Oh, and actually, I might even because I bet you would be love to do more like that part of filming the brewing aspect.
I'd love to do a brewery tour or just film a brewing process with someone sometime.
Yeah, I know, and so I think we could do two of the bigger ones in the Salem area.
Ooh, John. Trick logic. What beer do I put in my pancake batter?
Pancake batter. Oh.
Beer batter pancakes. What beer do I use?
Now, actually,
that's a good question.
That is a good question, and I actually do know a slight answer to that. So I will tell you this right away. I do know right away that a domestic lager is the number one thing for a lot of. Now, I don't know for pancakes, but I know for bread.
Yeah.
And the reason is because it's a lighter, flavorless thing, and the carbonation. It's actually more of a carbonation thing, not a beer and hops and malt thing. The malt will give you a little bit of sweetness, and that's about it.
But most of it burns
out right away, and you'll get no flavor from it. But it's the malt and / carbonation. So the carbonation will actually give you a bit more airy bubbles.
Yep.
And so if you want to really,
it'll help everything rise. It'll energize your yeast. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, yada yada. Exactly. And so if you're looking for that, and you're still wanting to keep the sweet batter of a pancake or waffle, whatever, either one will be fine.
I love me a waffle.
A lager, a very light, flavorless lager. And the sounds.
And see, my natural instinct would go to be like a bright pilsner.
A bright pilsner would work. And all honestly, actually, now that I was thinking about it, it actually might be like a Budweiser Reserve, because those are sweeter, maltier. Now, we don't like the corn flavor, but that burns off, I'm betting. But
Correct.
There's a lot of sweet corn sugars in it. And so that batter, which being a breakfast, will probably help with that sweetness. And so you'll never
Richard.
You'll never want to do an IPA.
Richard found my shower beer.
Did he? How were they already so fast? That was fast.
The $40 wireless mechanical keyboard, Velocifier, the KB61WS. Yep. That was the video. It was about that time, so I'm gonna just tell you, yes, you're probably right. That's funny. That someone actually went back and found it. I guess if you search my channel for, if you knew whose ad that was, you could probably find it very easily, because the links were all in the description. But yeah, that's funny.
On the Discord, Civil is posting. You might have to scroll up just a hair.
I'm reading.
There's a picture of me in ponytails.
Oh, okay. I wasn't looking at pictures. I was looking at. I've seen that picture before, actually.
Yep. That got me a date. Just letting you guys know, that got me a date.
I got you married. Are you kidding?
No, it was a different girl.
Yes. All right. I think that's enough of John's ponytail for one night. So, this has been episode 134 of Talking Heads. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night. We very much appreciate it. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Follow John on YouTube at Hops and Brews, and pretty much anything at Hops and Brews. And I mean anything at Hops and Brews.
Tinder, whatnot, you're fans only, whatever. Swipe
right, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, but seriously, go look him up if you enjoy the beer content on this channel. It's a lot more of that and more. Or it's all of this and more. It's a lot more of this and even more than more of this.
Yeah, it's all the beer humor. If you like the beer humor aspect of it, it is that, or the drinking. I don't go into the cocktails. When I try to do cocktails, which I
usually has me on the show.
I usually have Jeff on the show, which we had in the schedule for so long, and this all happened. And it was
this beer has been in my fridge for 6 months. I'm not even joking.
And then on top of that, we have so many others. I was like, oh,
you still have a video you owe me, and I have a video I owe you.
Exactly.
And that's what really sucks about this.
It's like, oh.
I built John an entire editing workstation, and we haven't been able to film part B yet, and that was freaking 7 months ago, and I'm not even kidding about that date.
I know, it was always like, oh, okay, we'll do this. Oh, I gotta move. Okay, you moved. I gotta get that. Okay. And the pandemic. And I was like, oh, damn it.
Right. OnlyFans, Hops and Brews. Allie wants to know.
Yes. It's only $1 too.
That's right.
Yeah. Just like Jeff Discord, it's only $1. And for some people, 2 for 1.
So that's right. If you have a spouse who wants to get onto the Discord and you've already paid for the Discord, by all means, let me know. I will get them on.
Yeah.
So I've done that on multiple occasions already. Well, at least 2. So. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Make sure to join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer news right here on YouTube.
And tech news.
And tech news. Didn't I say tech news? I just said beer news.
You just said beer news.
That's where my mind's at right now.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.